GuardianWaterServices.com. They've been advertising with us for over 10 years now.
Let me give a fun fact, Hotshot. It's the number one thing in my house that a client has provided for me that I use daily.
Yeah, that RO system that goes underneath your sink has a separate spout for pure RO water.
It's not just for rich people. I know you think that. That's not the case.
No.
It's for people that just want really good water. It's for people that don't want bottled water taking up, all that plastic, all that room in the garage.
Look up bottled water microplastic on TikTok. You'll be scared.
It'll scare you. It'll scare you.
Anyway, you don't have to get bottled water or Brita filters or anything when you have a RO system. And you'll get it free if you get a full conditioning system. Yep. They throw in the RO system. That's for Tom and Dan listeners only.
They use Westinghouse.
Yeah.
They've been, both of them been in business for, a very, very long time. And also within the community, Guardian Water has done some pretty amazing stuff working with charities that we love, like the Yellow Brick Road Foundation, YBRF.org, and providing, a lot of great stuff for kids that have congenital heart defects.
Yeah, nowadays you could test your own water quality, and if you're curious, just order the testing kit, test it. If it's not good, call Guardian Water.
But if you're lazy like me, just call Guardian, man.
Yeah, get that RO system like we all have. GuardianWaterServices.com. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're live on Twitch and YouTube, and we'd love for you to join us. Come on over and hang out with us. Every Monday through Friday, we stream right around like 10:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Till like 3 p.m. So come on over. Come hang out with us. We got great people in the chat room just hanging out. Just a couple of blue-collar guys firing up the microphones to tell you some stories.
Good thing about technology nowadays is...
Are we blue-collar? I don't think we are.
Yeah. Well, what is actual... ask ChatGPT what...
It's blurred now.
What is technically
No, we're definitely not.
job.
We're on the tech side of things.
Yeah. This is, doesn't involve any sort of manual labor.
No. This is a soft room. This is a very soft room.
But there are some blue-collar jobs...
I'm rescinding my statement. I'm rolling it back.
There are some blue-collar jobs, I feel, that don't involve manual labor, right? I don't know.
No one knows. No one knows. No one knows.
Yeah, like I wonder what the technical definition of blue-collar or white-collar job is.
I asked ChatGPT, and it says that we are as white as can be. There you go.
Yeah. And blue-collar, it means that...
It's a real job.
Manual labor.
Yeah, I think so.
Of some sort.
Yeah, and there's no manual, and there's less every day when I come in here.
Are there any white-collar jobs that are more manual labor technically than some blue-collar jobs? Like, I'm sure there's one blue-collar job that falls in the category of blue-collar, but really there's no actual manual labor. And then on the opposite, there's a white-collar job that is technically more manual labor than this blue-collar.
Variations within. Like, I have friends that own, dirty down and dirty construction company type stuff, but they're in a position where they're the white collar person on that team, like they don't do anything. They're driving around and making sure that people are, up on the roof, firing the mops down.
They're doing paperwork in their truck.
The jerky boy.
Yeah, my buddy the Grizz.
Is that a white collar, blue collar job? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like all he does is drive from one site to the to another site and does paperwork in a Chevy Silverado.
Yeah, like a contractor is a I would say that's pretty blue collar. If you can be both, right? You can be like rich contractor. You're sitting in your King Ranch. You got your cowboy hat on the dash. You're eating a Krispy Kreme donut.
But does it migrate then that is a white-collar...
That's a white-collar job.
Is supervisor.
Yeah.
I guess. Construction supervisor, white-collar job in a blue-collar industry.
In a blue-collar world.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We're just white-collar guys in a blue-collar world.
So, the Pro Bowl was this weekend.
Let's talk about it.
And a lot of, I know J.J. Watt kind of came out with...
he came out? I didn't know he was gay.
So he's talking a little bit of ass against the Pro Bowl with old McAfee, and that made the rounds, just saying that it's no longer what it was, which of course it is. no longer what it once was and the prestige it had, and like making the Pro Bowl used to be actually a like.
Well, people are saying this about everything. The Grammys too. You know, you can tie that right in. Everybody's saying that these type of what are they? Ear markers? You know, like flags.
Guess what? Everything's different.
Accommodations. I mean,
nothing is as good as it once was.
That's a really dumb old man thing for JJ to say, right?
No, I think it just made the round. Like, he's saying something obviously that everybody believes, but it just made the rounds because, like, oh, look at he's like throwing shade at the Pro Bowl. It's like everybody knows.
We all the Dennis's watched it. We fired it up in the we put it on the TV.
The problem is that we all look at this Pro Bowl and I think everybody's saying the same thing. Like, let's look at the punt competition, right? I happened to catch that.
Yeah, where they have the players punt first,
and they basically were punting into like
trash cans with pool noodles on the top.
Like long tubes.
I really didn't want to make fun of that, but they could have spent a little more money on that. It was pool
fire
noodles.
Extinguishers would go off every time they hit it. But
it's basically the setup that you and I made for Orlando City every time a goal was scored. Back in the early 2000s.
So, and I realized, like, we're all looking at this, and they're not punting that far. Like, they must have set up like 30 yards from the.
It was like the size of a normal Buffalo Wild Wings.
And I would imagine that a lot of people, even the other players are not even punters, could probably kick that far, no problem, right? And the reason
they're just around footballs all the time.
And these punters could kick 3 times this distance easily, right? And that's what we want to see. Like, we all look at this and like, I don't care that they're kicking 30 yards into, and most of them not that accurate and around this distance because they're not.
Well, it's not something they typically do.
Yes, yeah. They're more accurate with longer, realistic punts, game time punts, right?
Yeah.
You're kicking 50 yards, but you're trying to keep it in the out of the end zone.
So
you're
saying that to get your attention, you want like some feats of strength,
but they can't do that because they'll hurt themselves by accident.
Well, we tried to do this with Orlando City.
No, I know.
Do you remember? Like we
how hard could you kick the ball?
Yeah, how hard can you kick a ball? And I know we've said this before, but we got yelled. I literally got yelled at by. He's not on his training staff anymore. The training staff yelled at me because they're like, "What are you trying to do? Hurt our players?"
Yeah, because if a player's really trying to kick the ball as hard as they can and test like how fast they can kick the ball, they have the opportunity to pull something or tweak something in a super hard kick. And they're competitive, obviously. Their nature is competitive, so they may try harder than they should have and hurt themselves, right? Yeah. And that's what they're trying to prevent at the Pro Bowl, any of these players hurting themselves. So they dumb down the games. But then it's like, what are we showing? I know it's a paradox.
I get what you're saying. See, what I will say is that we got some people in the chat room that were there, and then I know some people, Andrea and I know some people that went, and they say it's just, you got to go. They're like, you're dumb if you don't go. It's in Orlando.
Yes.
We live in Orlando. We're Orlandoians. And for not going, like this chat room right here, Pro Bowl was a lot of fun. Sat near the end zone. We saw the tug of war and the punt competition perfectly. Yeah, I should have gone.
So this is where it differentiates for us because all of us locally should have gone because it's better in person than it is on TV.
Yeah, everybody was saying it's awesome in person.
And it's right in our backyard. So I'm bitching about what everybody else was bitching about. Is like, on TV it's not that good. But if person,
we win, I bet it was rad.
Yeah. Because I think my kids would have liked it. There's so much money around it that it's going to be good. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the argument is that we around here should go see it in person because it's way better than on TV.
We should have gone. It looked cool. I understand your gripes with it, but from my perspective of watching, like some of the players that I wanted to see, like Bijan was there. It would have been nice to see him again.
Yeah, they're celebrities.
Yeah, they are. And the energy's cool around it. Ken Miller, did you see friend of the show, Ken Miller, local comedian? He got asked and booked to do some private comedy at like some of these houses that the players are renting out. So
really?
He went and did, I think he did a private show.
We should talk to him. I love private shows.
Yeah, we should reach out to him and see. But I don't think it was anybody like amazing, but it doesn't have to be. You know, I mean, this guy's got tons of dough.
Well, also a ton, and I was just talking to Daniel this morning. We next year we should apply for media passes and stuff because there's so many ancillary former players that travel to this and are like trying to get into media now more than ever because there's so many opportunities to do your own podcast and do your own media that I bet you there's more former players trying to do media than ever before, ever. Especially with like the Kelsey's gigantic podcasting
you got
deal.
Old guys that got fired still trying to do it too. Every time I open my YouTube, old Gruden's got 9 more videos he put out independently. I'm like, damn, it's never been harder to do that job. Because everybody's doing it. Even guys that got fired are like, well, fine, I'll just do it on my own independently and get millions of followers. And
Gruden hooked up with Barstool. And, he just, making money for doing that.
And he started it just doing it on YouTube independently.
So another thing that happened yesterday was the Grammys. And also...
I did not want to watch. I told myself I'm not going to watch it.
And obviously it's not what it used to be. And it's held, I feel like, on a different level than it used to be. And Grammy Award winner used to mean something more than it does now.
I just don't even know where we stand anymore. Like, remember, even a couple of years ago, you had people like Drake or The Weeknd boycotting the Grammys. Last night, The Weeknd was the surprise performer at the Grammys.
Because a new album came out.
So where do you stand? Do you hate it? Do you love? I love The Weeknd, but like I don't like that. If you hated the Grammys, you're going to pop up there and look, there he is. He's at it again. I don't know, man.
Listen, I know The Weeknd is beloved by certain people, but Crystal we were driving over to the beach this weekend.
It wasn't his strongest performance.
And Crystal said, The Weeknd has a new album. I'm like, oh, okay. And she's played it. All the songs sound the same, basically. To me, they sound a lot alike, and there's nothing that really stands out. I don't know. When I was listening to it, I was like, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just like, it wasn't like, whoa, this is really good.
I'll take some heat off of you for people that might be wanting to give heat. The Beyonce album that won for Country Album of the Year should not have won. Not because it was Beyonce, but just it wasn't a good country album.
Yeah, you told me that.
I said it. I'll say it again. And it shouldn't have won Album of the Year, not because of Beyonce. It's just not a good album. Her version of Jolene is the absolute worst version of Jolene I've ever heard. People should not cover Jolene. It's an impossible song to cover. Don't do it. You can't top it. And then she tried, and it's straight garbage. And when you win in a weird category that you weren't even nominated for a CMA, but you win Country Album of the Year for the Grammys, then we got to get rid of all the award shows because none of them are right. It's all crap. We knew this, right? We all knew this. So if it doesn't mean anything, then it just doesn't mean anything, right?
Yeah. But I guess it still makes news. People still, whatever. But it's not. It's definitely not what it was. And I think people take it with a grain of salt now. So speaking of the Grammys, Kanye West's wife shows up nude.
So she wins. She got my Grammy.
So she showed up with basically just a see-through
cellophane,
stocking that it just you see her everything, and
it was great. I mean, I feel like, and then apparently Kanye he showed up. And then they walked the red carpet, and he showed off his wife, and he's dressed like he's a little he's fudgy now.
Yes,
and he's been fudgy for a minute. And he doesn't wear anything that's flattering for a fudgeman. He wears that boxy military style shirts. I don't know if you've noticed this, but all shirts that of popular music now I can't buy because they're shaped like Minecraft squares.
Okay,
have you seen that?
No,
Can I old man scream for a second? I'm an old man scream for a second. I go to Abercrombie. I want to buy a Def Leppard shirt. It's shaped like a Minecraft square. I want to buy a Coors. Oh, I found a Coors Light shirt.
They're not form fitting.
No, everything is in this new box cut.
Right.
Everything is. I picked up a Coors Light. I was like, Coors Light. I love Coors Light. I get up there, and Macy's like, you can't buy that. I'm like, why can't I buy that? She's like, it's box cut. So you can't wear that. Your body, my whole body's a box. If I start wearing box cut, I'll look like a box. And that's what Kanye does. He puts his fudge body in the box shirts, and it's not flattering. Doesn't look good. You got to get something that's cut for your body shape. He doesn't have that. And then he wears like military pants. These $20 military pants that he's selling all the kids in the world. He's selling everybody $20 just horrible Chinese garbage. That's what he wears while his wife is nude.
So
I support it.
His wife is doing this for the art of it, right? Obviously, the attention.
I don't know if you can even call it. The first couple times I'd say art. Now I don't think you could call it art anymore.
But they are obviously you show up naked, completely nude to the Grammys, and then you do the red carpet and the whole thing. Like, you're going to get the attention. Everybody, you manipulate the media into being a big story. Take some balls, I will say.
And I like the way he did it, too.
Scenario.
You know how he did it. By the way, he did not get kicked out. He was not asked to leave. He was invited.
They knew that this. Yeah. I imagine that I'm sure someone knew that she was showing up naked, right?
Yes.
Huge surprise.
Oh, yeah, so he shows up, he walks her, down the aisle, whatever, they show off, they take their photos, and then he gets right back into a car, and they go immediately to the Cheesecake Factory for dinner. Because he goes there, apparently he goes to the Grove Cheesecake Factory. Kanye West and his naked wife go there every night to eat.
The Cheesecake Factory?
I almost said the F word. That's awesome. That is blanking awesome. I know he's nuts. I'm not talking about that. I know he's a crazy person, but the fact that he took his nude wife to the Grammys, walked her around, and then he's like, to the Cheesecake Factory. And then away they went, and then he got there. What's he get? Does he get the spicy penne? The spicy penne is good as hell.
I like how he loves the Cheesecake Factory.
He loves the
random.
Yeah. What kind of bread? Does he like the brown bread as much as I do? The sweet bread with the butter on it?
Like, you could have any chef cook you anything you want. You're like, no Cheesecake Factory. It's weird.
He goes right to the Cheesecake Factory.
So do you think that because there's at the Grammys around somewhere, because there are people under 18 that show up at the Grammys, right? Are nominated for awards. Like, there are some kids somewhere, right? So if they knew she was showing up nude, right? Do you think they purposefully make sure there's no kids around, so there's no shots of some 16-year-old
boobies, I don't know, some kid with a boner or something? Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's just you're not allowed to be nude in front of minors, right? It's a crime, right? So
wait, what?
Yeah, you can't be nude in front of minors.
Oh, I've never heard that.
You've never, you can't expose yourself to minors.
I'm sorry. You know what? This is one of the times that my wife would be like, "Why do you do that? Why do you say things like that?" I was like, "I don't know. I don't know why I say things like that." Yes, I know that.
So then they don't want the picture of some kid looking at Kanye West's wife nude, and that getting out, because then all of a sudden, it just makes the rounds of the internet, and the Grammys look bad. Like, everybody's like, then she kind of looks nefarious, and almost you this lady's nude in front of a kid. All that. They don't want any of that. So they purposefully, they know exactly where she's going and who she's going to expose herself to, and then they whisk her off.
Yeah.
And it's controlled,
also,
right?
I feel like Hollywood kids, Drew Barrymore was doing drugs and smoking. I feel like they don't care.
They don't care.
I got a picture of Jaden Smith up where he's wearing his the
castle on his head.
A $5,000 castle on his head with a Louis Vuitton tuxedo. Oh, I punch him right in in his damn face. You are dumb. Your dad is dumb. Your mom is dumb. I kind of like the daughter Willow. I kind of like Willow. She looked good. She was almost naked on the red carpet, but she looked good at least. I mean, and she seems like she's got some talent, but I don't know what Jaden Smith is doing.
So obviously, it's just you're doing something absurd so that it gets media. And
this is to bring attention to how oppressed he feels within his oin mind.
Is that what he says?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of some pompous garbage he's going to say. He's the worst. Jaden Smith and his dad are the worst, right?
This is not making people like them.
I hate them so much.
They're not relatable.
He's just doing his thing, man.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I guess
you're the worst.
How can this person be relatable to anybody? You grow up with one of the biggest movie star parents.
You got weirdo parents, and so you turned out like a weirdo, right? This is what happens when your mom and dad are crazy. You go to the Grammys with a castle on your head.
Yes, but
that's what happens. That's just science.
But also, he had no chance to grow up normal to begin with. You're famous from the start, and then you have this bizarre life. right? That none of us we're all looking at like, well, it's
But I don't
weird.
think you have to put the castle on your head. I think you get addicted to that.
Oh, yeah.
That's the dysfunction.
Yeah.
Like, you know that looks stupid, and
Yes.
you know that you're going to get trolled for it. But in some weird way, you're addicted to that hate. You're addicted to the people hating your castle hat. So you have to do it. You can't stop. There is no way, no free will. There is no way you were going to go to the Grammys and wear something normal. There's no way you would go there and just blend in.
You can make an argument, though, that it's smart by doing this stuff because it does get highlighted. And everybody else who didn't do it, like, it didn't get as much attention.
True.
So you're saying, like, all it took is to put this stupid castle on my head, and I get more attention than the other person just dressed in a tuxedo.
But guess what? But at the end of the day,
stupid.
But at the end of the day, you got a castle on your head.
No, I know. I don't know what it does because, okay, it's bringing more attention to you, but I don't even know what Jaden Smith is doing right now. Like, I don't know what he's promoting or what. Is he an actor or is he a musician of some sort? I have no idea.
He and his sister seem to, and somebody's going to probably correct me on this, but this is my opinion. I feel like Willow and Jaden Smith, they hover above their parents' fame and just do kind of things. They're just a little art here, a movie here, a little acting there. They never truly commit to that one thing and like kill it. They just kind of do, like I'll do a single here. Now I'm into punk rock. Like Willow's into punk rock. Oh, now she's got a metal band. Or now she's a rapper. Oh, look, he's a rapper now. Oh, now he's an artist. Oh, now he's a skateboard. You know, they are always doing something a little, like, and their parents like support it. I don't think they'll ever do that great thing. Like their dad is an actor. Their mom is an actress. She's a musician. I don't think Willow is the closest. She's like a musician. But
do you think it's because, okay, so obviously Will Smith,
weirdos.
As a young kid, he wanted to become a movie star, right? And he had that fire and the motivation and the drive to become a movie star. And once he was driven and probably obsessed with it until he got his first movie role, and that parlayed itself into other movie roles, blah, 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 right? So when you're already famous and your dad's famous, your mom's famous, your dad's a famous movie star, and you want to be in a movie, it's very easy for you to be in your first movie. I'm sure they both have, or been in movies, multiple movies,
I know
right?
Jaden has.
Yeah, and it's like you didn't have to go through the same, like, hustle.
Didn't he do, like, some Karate Kid thing?
Yeah.
Remember he was on the set on Entertainment Tonight?
And so that's, like, you wanting to be in a movie, that itch gets scratched fast. So then it's almost like you've already accomplished it fast because of your dad and who you are. And then you're like, okay, well, now I want to do this. And so you just like, you jump from things to thing. And like, you're not like Will Smith where he didn't have a famous dad. They got him in the movie. Like and then once, so
it does accelerate it for sure.
Yeah. And so I feel like these kids are famous people. They can jump around to a bunch of different things, almost ADD like, because it's like they don't dedicate themselves and their whole life to one thing. They don't need to. They could do a little bit of everything, right? Which is honestly kind of a more balanced life than just doing one thing. I guess you could make an argument that like you could do a bunch of different things just because of the position.
Okay, I will make that argument.
None of them will be good.
Even with the castle on his head, still less crazy than his dad.
Well, I've never even heard of what he, like the only.
No, but that's what I feel. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Like I feel like his dad is legit crazy.
Yeah,
even with the castle on his head, I go with what you're saying. He's still more well-adjusted than Will.
God, without the slap, would we have labeled them crazy as much?
People already were.
I know they were.
We already were.
But the slap solidified it.
I'll throw myself in there. I already kind of thought, like, I was like, what's going on with this guy?
Yeah,
this guy's a little weird. He's a little weird.
Yeah. But the slap, I think, he'll never get away from it.
It was a big deal last night that he presented on the Grammys.
I know people are because they'll never stop bringing it up. I mean, this is going to haunt him forever.
I think he is legitimately banned from the Academy of Science, whatever the
Oscars.
the Oscars for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
No, yeah. So,
but the whole thing, just I don't know. The whole you're not doing yourself any favors if you're going to take to go back to the country, argument. I mean, you saw all these people like, oh man, look, all these white people are mad. To me, it had nothing to do with that. It really has everything to do with the integrity of the music style. You know, it's kind of like when Jethro Tull won for best like heavy metal performance or something one year. If you guys are going to do crap like that, then don't expect us to care.
Yeah, you're almost like troll. Like it's almost done on purpose so that it brings on attention to the Grammys itself.
And it dilutes the award not only for Beyonce, because I'm sure she does really want. I mean, obviously, your husband doesn't make such a big deal the year before if you don't really want to win Album of the Year.
She put together a good album.
She did,
but Daniel will make the argument that it wasn't the best out of all the ones.
No. There are plenty of better albums there, and that's not even like I don't even think that's like whoa, that can be subjective. I'm like, no, if you take a slice across the board, I think it would be proven that these other albums were better country albums. But it just sucks because it takes, like I said, takes the award away from her. It takes the meaning away from it, and it makes all the awards kind of feel like a sham, like it's all garbage.
Well, speaking of music, real quick before we take a break, Crystal started watching '90s music videos on Vivo.
And my God, she does what I do. I do this.
We were torturing Tommy and Max by making them watch it with us.
This is what we do with Maisie. She hates it. All the videos are stupid. I played the greatest videos of all time, like Sledgehammer, Peter Gabriel. That is an award-winning video.
Dude, we went from Smells Like Teen Spirit, Black Hole Sun, Sabotage, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Give It Away, and ended with Pearl Jam, Jeremy, which I'll tell you about. So they hated it all.
Yeah.
And we were like, this is what we used to watch.
I'm glad that you did this. I've done this to Maisie.
And then they're like, well, what's going on? I don't
understand. The chat room agrees. They do it to their kids.
Yes,
you got it? Yeah. Everybody do this to your friends, not even those that don't have kids. Just do it.
They did have valid points of why is the video like this? Yeah. What does it have to do with anything? And I'm like, no. Back in the 90s, they just made the videos crazy. They had nothing to do.
I'm sending you something from Maisie to Tommy and Max. Yeah. They hated the eyeballs in Black Hole Sun, did they not?
Oh, yeah.
Why are their eyes getting bigger and crazier?
They're like, what does this have to do with anything? And I'm like, it's just, you don't understand. It's all art.
Why is the man with the top hat, his eyes get all big? What's he protesting, Maisie says. I was like, I don't know.
And then even Red Hot Chili Peppers, they're like, they're just dressed like silver people.
Yes.
And then they're in a desert. Like, what does it have to do with the Give It Away?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it means nothing. It's crazy.
Maybe you'll be proud of this one. May brought up, like, why are their guitars plugged in? That's a Tom. That's a Tom. That's a. I almost cursed. That is such a Tom thing to say. Like, you don't want to just listen to the music? That's one of my favorite bands, by the way.
So we were like, okay, just watch this last Pearl Jam, Jeremy. And at the end, he puts a Dirty Harry style giant revolver in his mouth and blows his brains out in front of him.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. I forgot
about that. And it's like when we forgot that Mel Gibson said the N-word.
Yeah. And then my sons are like, oh my God. Then I was like, oh. And then
you show them that.
Yeah, because I forgot that it came on. We were like, Jeremy's broken. And then
it's spoken, not broken. Jeremy's broken.
Whatever the hell. And then he blows his brain out, and the whole class was like, with blood. And I'm like,
I don't remember him blowing his brains out.
Yeah. They don't show him blowing his brains out, but they show him putting a gigantic revolver in his mouth, and I'm like, oh my God.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. I was like, the 90s a different time.
It was a different time.
We were, I guess, fine with it, and all the 90s parents were fine with it.
In The Sopranos, there's a character who can't get excited unless he puts a gun in a woman's mouth. It's a different time. You do. There's a gun in the mouth time.
We will be right back. Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
Call the show.
Say it to me now.
1-844 Tom and Dan.
All right.
1-844 Tom and Dan.
Say it again now.
1-844 Tom and Dan.
Again, fucking now.
1-844 Tom and Dan.
Let's take some calls.
All right. We've got a caller on line one, Ryan. What say you, Ryan?
I've got three things. I've got a question, a confession, and a story. Which one do you want to hear first?
No.
Oh, I thought you wanted to guess one of those 6 things, but I got scared for a second. Okay,
Can we do that? That's a good idea.
We can do that. We can do that. I don't think
Do
that's
they still
copywritten.
do that?
That's not copywritten, and neither is Earth Day Birthday. I'm bringing that back
Do they
too.
still do it, or do they stop doing it? If
I think they stopped doing it.
then we can take it, right?
I can send Russ an email and say, hey, do you still do 6 things? Because I am out of stuff.
Hey, I hadn't talked to the guy in 10 years. I'm like, hey, I text him. I'm like, hey, can we do this?
He probably got like, hey, can't do it.
It's weird that you haven't texted me in 10 years, and there's one thing, and I'm like, hey,
Well, I'm business only. I'm only business.
too lazy. When do you hear the other story of my life?
I got kids now, dude. I got
Anyway,
kids. Oh, sorry.
So let's hear the confession first.
Okay, this is the worst of the 3. In 2011, I messaged Tom on Facebook about fixing my credit. He gave me the number of someone named EJ or CJ, but I never called him. I just did it myself, and I'm sorry I wasted your time.
Oh, that thing worked. I remember when you were doing that. This is like, because to me, a lot of the listeners don't know this, but there are 2 Toms to me. There's the Old Testament Tom and the New Testament Tom. And the Old Testament Tom, man, you were smoking. You wear hats all the time. You're smoking in bed. You lived in Heroin Alley. The termites are going to fly out of the wall, right? You know
Well,
this guy.
25.
Yeah, but you were like, your credit is horrible. You're disgusting. Your teeth are gross. Everything about you is just a vile.
Oh, my teeth. How dare you?
Remember, you had a line on your teeth that Bubba used to make fun of it all the time. And then you went to my dentist and he was like, I got it. And it was gone in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, I was mad that that's all it took.
Yeah, it was nothing. It wasn't even
I lived like that for so long. I was embarrassed by it.
And Bubba was Bubba, when you would make Bubba really mad, like, take his pain pills or something, he would really fight with you. Because he's emotional, right? Emotional people want to hurt you.
I was like, goddamn, old man, you brought up my poor ass teeth.
He would try to hurt you. He'd be like, look at your goddamn rotten ass teeth. And I'd be like, oh.
It was just like a line that I don't even know how it got
looked
there.
like a crack. It was not a cracked tooth. It was fine. You have great teeth.
I don't know why that line was there, but the dentist just shaved it off. He's like, that's it. And I was like, oh, it was 2 seconds? I'm like, this old man's been making fun of me for years.
Where was this? Okay, so that was Old Testament Tom. But then somewhere along the line, he got good haircut. He's running all the time. He's fitness. He's eating good. He got to do his routines. He's all about grit and making his sons like good human beings.
Old Testament Tom's way, fire and brimstone.
Yeah, Old Testament Tom is fun as hell. New Testament Tom is,
had certain views
New
against
Testament
certain.
Tom, I'll say it, little gay, little gay.
So I told you how to fix your credit, and you just did it yourself. How'd you do it yourself? You just did the thing. You write the letters.
Yeah, you just write the letters, and they take care of it. It was easy. It took all of an afternoon.
Hold on.
I like the idea of getting out of.
I paid like $800-900 for that. I think it was like $1,400.
Yeah, but let's be honest. You've never written a letter.
That is true. How do you know what exact verbiage to use in the letters to do the shim sham?
Yeah, you got to know all the big words.
You can Google some templates.
All right,
it's on the Google.
Well, I told you that before I was even knowledgeable about
this
Google.
This was Old Testament Tom. This is the end of Old Testament
I didn't
Tom.
even know what was on the internet. I thought it was like a bunch of.
You knew what was on the internet.
Well, I thought that was the only thing of value. So, what was the other 2 things?
I got a question and a story.
All right, what's the question?
Do you think Vivid Entertainment will re-release Gulf of Mexico as Gulf of America?
They should.
That's an excellent question. You can rebrand a lot of things now. I did see the new shirt that rolled out because one of the listeners. Okay, all of our listeners are such Weisenheimers that I'm signed up for every. I get libertarian, all Democratic, all conservative. I get every senator in the U.S. I'm signed up on their mailing list. I get everything. I get it all. And there is a commemorative shirt you can get now of an eagle wearing Trump hair, and it says, "Welcome to the Gulf of America." And I almost want to buy it. I kind of do, just because that collector's item part of me that was in my father, because we come from a long line of trash, thought that I should buy one and just tuck it away for when Maisie needs some extra money for a college education. Will not be a thing anymore.
I do like when people get ultra mad at it because it's so stupid.
Yeah.
People are like, "How, Uncle?"
Yeah.
Hey, it's a little funny, right? You gotta find the funny. Anyway, so what's the story, sir?
It's actually a dream I had. I had to save the story so he wouldn't hang up on me.
Okay, I like that.
You
sorry,
tricked him.
You tricked
hold
him.
on.
I like that.
You know I hate dreams.
Yeah, but he also knows if he gets this far into the call that I'm going to let him go.
right.
You have the floor, sir.
I had a dream. Dan and I were watching wrestling, and then I showed him the subreddit for girls with small boobs and big asses. And then Tom came home from his job repairing VCRs and started chain smoking. We all lived together.
That actually might be just what we're going to do in a couple years. You never know.
And, sir, that's called a POG.
AWG.
Yeah. Which I learned what that meant from my buddy Dre.
I was going to say, your Spanish friend taught you that. Yeah.
When I've always saw it on the videos,
I didn't want to call him out by name, and you know what? You did that on purpose as a little bit of a flex. I was not going to say that man's name.
Yeah. I didn't know. I saw
You
POG.
knew you liked it, you just didn't know what it was.
Yeah. I didn't know what it stood for.
Yeah. It's kind of like me and sushi. It's like the flavors, I love them, but what is this called?
Yeah. So now me and my buddy Dre, we have this inside POG joke that we.
You want to go play POG?
We're like, there's a POG over there.
Yeah.
We like saying POG a lot.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, stands for fat ass white girl. Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Baba Booey.
Baba Booey to you, sir. Thank you for participating in live calls.
All right,
this live call thing is going good, right? So far, so
pretty good.
Yeah,
Good content.
1-844-TOMNDAN. That is the number to call if you want, and we can answer your questions. We can assist you if you have relationship problems.
We can solve your credit issues.
We can solve your credit issues. Parenting, I always like to throw that one out there. Oh, we have another call.
Relationship advice.
Let's go to the phones. Thank you for calling Tom and Dan Live Call Thursdays. Who's this?
Oh, it's Chart and Randy.
Chart and Randy, one of my favorite people who does a lot of good. Good to talk to you, sir. What's on your mind?
Well, I've got a new scientific theory I want to propose here. You know the Dunning-Kruger effect, the Mandela effect. I think we need to really get on board with the Van Dennis effect.
Okay.
When you create so much content and the magnet starts pulling, because this stuff happens a lot for y'all, and I think it's real.
Okay, well, what would be the effect?
What's interesting is...
And we talk about the same thing every couple of years.
That's what I was going to say. As a small, tiny skeptic, I would just say that we're just not that interested. But I'm willing to listen to your theory.
Have you ever talked to your old man uncle? He says the same every Thanksgiving.
But it's funnier because it is racist.
And he forgets he's already told you the same story, and then he tells you again.
He'll change a few details.
We're doing the old uncle.
Well, hey, man, I'm just trying to get y'all in the book. So if you don't want it, I don't care. We can go back to, I don't know, can I introduce a song on the Hot 9 at 9?
You can, if you would like to. What are you listening to these days, Randy?
Snaps, Rhythm is a Dancer.
That's a great tune.
All right,
that is, I'll go with it. All right, so go ahead.
All right, the number 8 song of tonight's Hot 9 at 9 is Rhythm is a Dancer by Snap.
All right. Randy, how's work going?
Well, I am sitting here talking to y'all right now, but things are pretty good. Just trying to help people.
Yeah, Randy. For those that don't know, Randy helps get people to not be like Tom and I are, which is alcoholics.
Yeah.
He does good work he helps people out that need.
So me and Daniel,
when it's got a grip on them,
we've
would you help me if I'm addicted to masturbation?
How do you know if you're addicted to that?
Oh, you know.
Because Steve-O, one time, he's like, I was addicted to that.
Man, he's addicted to fame. He just likes saying he's got all the things wrong with him.
And then
I've been getting to hate that guy.
What is a sex addiction by the book? You thinking about it all the time? Because, that's all men, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit out of my lane, but I would imagine,
See, I'm a sex addict. Everything's in my lane. I want it all in my lane. Every lane is my lane.
Yeah, because that's like if you just crave looking at pornography all the time. Is that like I thought everybody did that. I thought that was natural.
I thought really does it affect other parts of your life? Can you go to breakdancing with your son, or are you locked into?
Well, he does. He looks at pornography in the truck while his son is breakdancing. You're an idiot if you don't know that, Randy.
That's fine, right?
Yeah, it's like me. When I get here, I answer one email, one pornography video. Then I answer another email.
You're a functional sex addict. It should be monitored, but you don't need to take action.
Okay, yeah, I like that. I am trying to cut back a little bit on the wanking.
Yeah, but
That's British.
Isn't that just natural? I imagine that we're all just animals, and you see how horny animals are. You go to the zoo.
Well, I like the way they do it because they'll just, they're just like they'll pull their pants down in the middle of a Walmart, and just like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, would it be considered natural being a sex addict? Because you're just like, that's what you want to do as an animal.
The most natural would be pulling your pants down in a Walmart, right? It's the shame that we throw on top of it and stopping that's truly unnatural.
There you go.
Randy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry we pulled you into this, buddy. We got another call. Here, we got another. All right. If you're still there, thank you for calling Live Call Thursdays with Tom and Dan. Who's this?
Is this me?
Yeah.
Oh, the murderer's on the line. Murderer, yes, sir. It's you. You have the line.
Hey. Oh, okay. So maybe you can answer a couple. What show is this? What show is this?
Yeah, turn your radio down. But I love it. Turn your radio down, please. Yes, sir. Thank you.
It's on a radio.
You're listening to.
This will be broadcast.
The Midday Monsters of News Junkies.
You can't curse. You can't curse, sir.
Is this a corporate time?
Let me put you. Hold on. Let me put you on hold. The phone screener will be with you in one time, please. Hold on. All right, please hold. Thank you for calling. Yeah, we do have another one. Thank you for calling Live Call Thursdays with Tom and Dan. Who's this?
This is Ryan, and I have three things to talk about: a confession, a question, and a story.
Okay. All right, now we got our thing.
Is that what we're doing now?
Yeah.
Is that the thing now? Is it called Three Things? It's Tom and Dan's Three Things. I have a feeling we're going to get a letter about that.
I want to hear your confession first.
Okay, this is the worst one. So I reached out to Tom in 2011 to fix my credit, and he gave me some guy's named TJ, and I never did anything about it.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Just play along because this will freak people out.
They're like, oh, it's the marijuana. What's the other, whatever?
My question.
Yes.
Do you think that Vivid Entertainment will re-release Gulp of Mexico as Gulp of America?
Let's talk about, I am going to end your bit because even Tom and I got bored of it. But hold on, let's go back to our other callers.
Oh, yeah.
Sir, are you still on the line?
Yeah. Is this a corporate time?
Yeah, this is. You're on a corporate time. You have the floor. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Great. I got a question for a corporate time. If maybe you can help me out. I have some questions about operational aspects and shareholder agreements and compliance requirements. And I'm considering forming a new business. What structure would you recommend? A C corp, a S corp, or a LLC that would be most beneficial for my situation based on anticipated growth or
what type of business? What type of business are you doing? What type of business is it?
All right, come on, man. That's the joke. I got nothing. Bye-bye.
I was going to help you out. See?
Yeah.
I won that one.
So what I've learned...
You got to keep going. You got to be able to power through on that.
Is, and this is tax law, by the way.
I was going to try to give him an answer. I did just do our PCI compliance for all of our, internet commerce. So I did all of that. A 42-page self-quiz.
So in some professional CPA may be able to disprove this in some way, but I was told that if you have an S corp, you could pay yourself in shareholder distributions. And the only regulation by the government is it's got to be a reasonable amount.
Right.
And there's no actual definition of what reasonable is.
Which is why we drain the coffins.
And then, so it allows you to pay yourself what you deem as reasonable. And I don't know how they deem it would be unreasonable because I could say any amount is reasonable, right? I don't know. And so
that's so not my world that you can do that to me, right? Like you can literally anything. I'd be like, that's fine.
And so look that up and then talk to a professional.
Yep.
Anyway, all right. I think we did
not bad.
Yeah,
it was pretty good.
I got three pretty good callers.
I'm digging Pardon me, I am digging Live Call Thursday, and we will be doing this every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know, we're based in Orlando, obviously. Most of you are local.
Yeah.
So you could just set an alarm for like 12:50. We'll be on Twitch. We'll be on YouTube.
Yeah,
and if you want to call in, because it is part of live radio that seemed to have died a long time ago, and it's kind of fun.
Yeah, it is fun talking to people live.
Yeah, just tell us what or if you do have a question or relationship advice or something going wrong, yeah, we'll help you out.
But it also does remind me that a lot of the callers, complete waste of time.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of dumb people out there.
I think they want to do some jokes or like oh my.
Well, they don't think it out.
It's like, I'm going to call.
Yeah.
And then I hear myself.
And then they get that. I mean, do you remember what it felt like when it was ringing and you're like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, you know?
Oh,
and then, like, I used to get like that even when I do a call into like Jim Phillips or something.
No, me too. Like
I'd lose my mind.
I called into Jim Phillips a couple times in my career.
Because you wanted to be considered smart.
No. I was already on the morning show. I think, for years, for like 8 years. And then I remember calling
every once in a while he'd have like us idiots call in.
And then I remember I did my 1 minute of comedy on Jim Phillips one time or something like that.
Yeah.
And I remember being so nervous and then it was weird because I'm on the station. Why the hell am I nervous? But I listened to Jim Phillips before, so I was like, oh, this is professional. What I'm doing is a clown
it was
show.
all fake. It was all a nothing. It's literally a blip in time. You know?
No.
I think about it now.
But I was waiting, and then I got to do a good job.
I think about it now, and I'm like, I'm as good as anybody, better. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, but that's why it drove me crazy when people would forget that we'd schedule an interview with them, and they'd be like, I didn't remember. Like, you weren't thinking about it since the time you got you're like, hey, you're going to call Wednesday at 3. How you doing, sir? What's your name?
Whoop. Hello, is this Tommy Swan?
Yeah, that was really good.
You did a really good whoop.
Yeah, we got one more.
Okay.
Have your last caller of the day.
Hey, it's T-shirt Rick here.
Hey! So Rick has been trying to get me and you a couple of T-shirts, and he printed them himself, and he sent them, I want to say, like a month ago, and the post office has been telling me they're not there, and then telling him that they are there for like a month, and I go there, and I look for them, and they're not there, and then I get back here to the office, and I write him an email. I'm like, they're not there, buddy, and he writes me an email back, and he's like, I just got off the phone with Javier. He said they're there. So, what's the latest, Rick?
So the latest is still. I got your email today, and it they're saying the same thing. They put a slip in your box, and they're supposedly there, but originally I guess they had fell behind a shelf. So they said. I mailed these out. I mailed these out December 27th. That's how long this has been going on.
We were working on this event.
2 shirts.
Yeah.
Hold on, they put the mail on shelves that they easily just fall.
It fell behind there.
And it was crazy because nothing had happened. Everything was fine until I filed my claim, and I told them that the value was $95.
They found him then.
And then all of a sudden, here they are. So, it was...
Imagine if your January 6th pardon fell behind those shelves. Oh, my God, what are you doing?
How does that work?
Yeah.
I'm surprised by the amount of mail that isn't lost.
Yeah.
Based on the system.
No, there's way more lost. You don't think about it.
Okay, you just never...
you just never think about it.
All
right, man.
Well, Rick, what shirts are they?
Well, and now they're not nowhere near as good. I thought they were cool. I thought they was cool as heck when I first did them, but they're just T&D Media 159. Thank you, Kelly Miller.
They're
what a strike when the iron's hot.
I like it. Yeah. And then on the sleeve it says Monica Lewinsky.
15 years
and
ago.
now I think there's something to it because ever since I did that, now y'all haven't got the shirts yet. So I think something else is involved here.
Oh, gotcha.
I knew
it. Yeah,
gotcha.
Yep, I knew it. Yeah. Collusion.
Anyway, thank you guys, man. So hopefully they're in there now, Dan.
All right, I'll go look today, my friend. You have my word, and I'll see you on email. All right.
All right, y'all have a good one.
All right, man. You too, man.
Well, that was a pretty good call in Thursday.
We solved some problems. Got it all done. All right, guys. We will see you next time.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. With us today on the couch from the Orange County Regional History Center, to talk about. They do this. It's really cool. It's Lunch and Learn.
Yeah, man. Well,
They're doing it this Friday.
You don't have to cry about it. Tom gets he gets very, he gets really emotional when we start talking.
Anytime I talk about old Florida feuds,
he loves lunch. He's like, lunch.
My pop-up was a feudman. He carried old Florida feuds between families.
Oh, yeah.
His was against the local government.
Yeah. He was more of a kill all the park rangers kind of guy, you know.
And we of course have Scotty here. How you doing, Scotty?
Hey.
Hi, everyone.
Good to see you, Scotty.
And also Billy Morgan, the CFO of the Orange County Regional History Center.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing, Billy?
Thanks for being here, man. Finally, somebody. This is the beard I'm going for.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. This is what I'm going for. Finally, a proper gentleman in here.
Absolutely.
So, tell us about the Lunch and Learn this Friday.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to be talking about.
So there was a huge feud in Central Florida back in 1870. In fact, it started 155 years this month, where the sheriff of Orange County was ambushed and killed. But as with any good feud, a lot of stuff happened before, a lot of stuff happened afterwards, and we're going to delve into that on Friday.
I actually found a song from 1870 about and it's the Barber
Mizell
feud. Let's hear a little bit of this.
This is weird that you found this.
It's crazy.
Blows my mind.
It's crazy the powers of. You just go to the internet. I don't know if you know this. Type anything in the internet.
Okay, it's all there.
It's all there.
Google is our friend.
Yeah, some would say everything's there. Right, this is from 1970. The artist is unknown. This is the Barber Mizell feud song. Oh wow,
that sounds about right.
You just have to listen to a few of the lyrics here.
70 came, the air was cold. Barbers and Mizells, proud and bold. Judge rode in to set things right. Met his end by morning light.
Yeah, he got killed. That's right.
Steel and pride, blood runs deep. What you sow is what you reap. Cross the line, the price is paid. Names carved deep in piney shade.
Oh, man, what a grim song. Wow.
Imagine,
holy smokes, where did I find that?
Traveling back in time and telling Barber or Mizell that artificial intelligence wrote this.
I thought it was the ultimate mashup of oil and water. I was like, let's take a legend and write a song that sounds like you uncovered it from 1870. Like,
imagine trying to explain it to them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm from the future. We took your story.
Oh, well, don't start with that. Don't ever start with I'm from the future. That's how you freak them out. You start with
kill me, right?
You start with well, from what I understand, and you can tell me more, but Moses Barber got a lot of his money from having cattle all the way up the East Coast, right?
Valid. He had cattle running all the way from west of Jacksonville down to south of Holopaw.
And one of the reasons why he was able to do that, and I'm doing the layman's terms, and we have the details here, is I think from what I read, he was not afraid to mix it up with Indians and kill, and he was like a tough, really like a very rough around the edges, doesn't even cover it, from what I read. This guy and his band of cattlemen, because they didn't like being called cowboys, because...
True.
Yeah.
You've done your research.
I got into this, man.
I'm telling you.
I got into this. I started reading it. He's the same way. At lunchtime, it was so quiet in here because we were both like, this is great stuff.
Well, we've got to the age now where we like history.
You made a little. Reflect a little.
My beard. I got the history beard.
That's exactly right.
I want to wear my cowboy hat, do a reenactment.
Also, hard to not be tough in Florida in the 1870s.
No, they talked about that.
There was no air conditioning.
Yeah,
a lot of mosquitoes.
There was a woman on I watched a little bit of a small documentary on this, and she was talking about how, not only would have had to have been terribly tough to do this, but Moses Barber was cutting his teeth and making a lot of money on these cracker horses, which are like smaller, more agile, like kind of like they're impervious to like certain diseases and mites and like they're like power donkeys. They're like these Florida power donkeys, and he had them, and he was going around and shooting all the Indians and taking cattle and branding them, because at that time, if you just found cattle and it didn't have a brand on it, you just
yours,
you'd
right?
pop your brand on it, and boom, you got it.
Right.
Well, are you going to tell me the history of Billy?
I'm sorry, I'm doing Tom. I'm playing the part of Tom.
No, he's done a great job. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was really into this.
I should have brought my lunch. Lunch and learn.
He had AI give him the cliff notes.
No, actually, I read this on an old lady's website, actually, because the internet is so dead that AI didn't know this stuff. But yeah.
Oh, wow. So, Billy, let's talk about this feud. And is this one of Florida's most infamous old-timey feuds?
This is Florida's old-timey feud.
Okay.
In preparing for this, the title of it is Recipe for Revenge, because we didn't just look at the Barber Mizell feud, but we compared it to other big feuds that occurred across the country. So everybody knows the Hatfields and McCoys.
Yeah.
And there's some others out there across the country. How do they stack up side by side? And what we figured out in looking at them is that there's three basic ingredients in any good feud. And we find it in Barber Mizell, we find it in Hatfield McCoy, we find it in all these others. So those three ingredients is what we're going to reveal on Friday.
I love that.
The recipe.
Yeah. What's the equation here?
Yeah, how do you add up these things?
What's wild to me is...
money's one of them.
Fair game.
I don't need to spoil it.
All evil, right?
But money is always part of it.
Fair game.
But I was interested in I always look at these type of things because from a creative or an entertainment standpoint, where my brain has a tendency to kind of reside, I look at this and I go, oh, Costner, you missed the boat on one, because this is a tale, the backdrop of the swamps in Florida and the Native Americans.
Absolutely.
And how and because the Seminoles were, like some of the accounts I was reading were that Moses would lose entire groups of men, not just killed, he would they'd get ambushed, right? And then Moses would go and check on his men, and it would just be their heads scattered everywhere.
All right.
That's a Mel Gibson movie. Well, maybe not Mel. He's a little problematic. But that's you know what I mean? That is wild, man. I didn't know where that was happening. Right here, could have been happening right here.
So, Billy, this was which one of them was the government, and which one was the cattle rancher? Because it's always that.
You pegged it right there. So the Barbers were the ranchers.
Okay.
So Old Man Mose that Daniel's been talking about there, and then the Mizells were the government. They were called scalawags. Have you ever heard that term?
I have.
Yeah. So they were the scalawags. A lot like we have red and blue today in terms of political divisions. Same exact divisions happened in 1870. And so most of the state of Florida was controlled by the red team, but Central Florida was controlled by the blue team. And the Barbers were blue, the Mizells were red. It started off as a political thing and just escalated from there.
Well, it's pretty... I mean, you could even apply that to now in a weird way. I mean, you could.
If you get the right recipe.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
The United States did this to ourselves in some way because this happened in the West,
Put
too.
your rant hat on. Here it goes.
And no, I'm just saying, we all, everybody came to the East Coast from Europe, right?
Yeah.
And then built cities, and they were like, we need to populate the rest of this giant country. And they're like, go out there and, grab whatever land you can. It's yours now. And live there, whatever, free, do whatever you want. And then they did that, and then so generations of people came to Florida, went out west, and they lived with no police or anybody helping them whatsoever. And then as the United States government moved into town and stuff, and they were like, wait a minute, hold on, you got to abide by our rules.
Yeah,
and then you were like, what the hell? He said, we've been living here for generations by ourselves, self-sufficient, and you're going to tell us what to do? You're like, you're on U.S.
You're
soil.
writing my movie, man. You're right. But this is an awesome Florida
This is
movie.
a tale.
Right?
Just
That's absolutely the case. Absolutely
all
the case.
this.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, you got the potential here because he had at one time, I think Moses, from what I read, he had over 100 and 115 slaves, which was an insane amount of slaves. He had
and not during that time was a medium amount. That was a little more than normal, but
he had just, and then he was just moving his way up.
The thing with Mose was, the slavery period thankfully ended in 1865.
Right.
But we're talking 1870 forward. he still had a huge family network because he was the head of this huge family, and he kept everybody fed with this huge fortune that he built on cattle. So he had a large number of slaves before the war. After the war, he had a huge family because he was not a nice guy, as has been pointed out. Yeah. He didn't just have a lovely wife. He had a lot of other ladies all along the trail up and down the state of Florida, and he had a lot of children. And so he had a lot of children to support, which he did quite effectively, but they all became this network of people who would support him in anything that he wanted to do, legal or otherwise.
I've always wanted to have a network of ladies down a trail and then leave a trail of children all the way out of town.
He did that, and then he had a brother who was killed by the Seminoles who left a lot of orphaned children too. So he had a lot of his own biological children, either by his wife or by one of his lady friends, and then he had all these nieces and nephews all over the place that some carried the name Barber, some didn't, but there was a huge family network that he was the head of, and it was like almost, you don't want to say a crime family because they weren't necessarily doing anything illegal, a lot unethical perhaps, but this huge family
untamed
network. Yeah, absolutely,
and ignorant, I think, too,
and unreconstructed, and that's where they bumped heads with the Barber or the Mizell.
Yeah, they didn't like some of the guys were helping with Reconstruction, and they thought that was a very traitorish thing to do.
Also, like, totally wild Florida, like where people were
Write that down.
carrying guns.
Title.
That's good, right?
Yeah.
That's good. That's my name of my movie, Totally Wild Florida.
But people were carrying guns and also living in a time that if you live past 40, you are an old man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you're in your 30s, you're already an old man and probably lived longer than you should have. People are like, "Oh, this guy's 35." You're like, "Oh, but he's got the wisdom." Yeah. And then you're carrying a gun. You're like, "Well, I'm 5 years away from my tooth killing me for sure because like any small cut I get is going to get infected and I'm going to die."
Your foot gets infected. The horse kicked your foot. Your foot gets infected. We haven't seen it. I've been wearing a boot on it.
Pre penicillin, everybody just died in their 40s. You're like, "Oh, cut dead." You know, like,
I thought I was going to die sometime this year, but Andrea told me we've got penicillin.
Oh, wife's pregnant, dead. You know, like everybody's dead. And then so you're like, what do you're like. So for you to kill someone in some sort of argument, you're like, well, I'm already at the end of my life. Like it's wild Florida.
Left, right?
The cops just came into town.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it unknown what happened to Mose?
No.
I thought that I thought there was a confliction.
We have somebody who's admitted to it. But do people always admit to things that they actually did, or sometimes do they want to claim the credit for something that they didn't do? We know the name of the person who supposedly shot the sheriff. Is that who you're?
No. I thought Moses Barber went away, and they never knew what.
That's fair.
That he literally just disappeared, and there are some reports that he had died, and then there were some reports that he moved. I want to say to Texas.
Right, and the same exact tale is told about Aaron Jernigan, another one of our pioneers, that big blow up happened, and then he disappeared and went to Texas.
Yeah. What's Jernigan, Tom? What's Jernigan?
I've heard the name.
If you get it wrong, you have to do a punishment.
There will be a quiz later.
If you get it wrong, you have to eat a hot dog out of the toilet.
No. What the hell is that? I made Billy laugh.
Billy's got hot dogs. Get the hot dogs, Billy. Billy, hold on.
We're gonna have a real lunch and learn.
Get the hot dogs. Billy's gonna make you. He's gonna dunk you in too. We're gonna hold you and dunk you in.
So why we putting me on?
Jernigan was the original name of.
Yeah, the person that founded. Okay, whatever.
You're close. You're on the.
No,
you're too nice.
Scotty knows I'm close.
Get the hell out, Scotty. Too nice.
He's a famous person in history, of course.
Everyone knows that. Yeah.
Right. White. Close enough. Famous white person.
It was the original name of Orlando.
Oh yeah, the old
Jernigan. But he.
Who are my people? So that's right.
Yeah, there you go.
Now I'm offended. That's okay.
So Billy,
and this is the guy that writes our
personally.
Checks. So this guy writes our checks.
Yeah. I have a question. In our collection, actually, in the museum, there's a gun.
Yep.
Could you tell us a little bit about that? Related to this.
So my other hat that I wear is with Pine Castle Pioneer Days, which is a festival that's been going on for
it's got a lot
decades.
Of
Nice.
hats.
Yeah. And anyway, in 2013-ish, we had a lady approach us who was a Barber descendant, and she says, "Look, this has been going on for too long." And yeah, it'd been over 100 and something years by that point. And she says, "I have this gun that's been sitting in my closet for however long." And she says, I think we need some reconciliation here. So could I surrender this to a Mizell descendant? And we orchestrated that at Pioneer Day. She surrendered the gun, and our executive director at the time, Sarah Van Arsdale, was there to accept it on behalf of the History Center, and now it's on display in our museum.
Yeah.
Really?
Now,
That's
didn't
super
they?
interesting.
They found out though that it couldn't be the gun. Is that true?
Well, and that goes back to the earlier discussion. Who was the person that shot Sheriff Mizell?
Gotcha.
There's different people that want to claim that they did because that made them the big guy, on the range.
I heard it was Suge Knight.
It could have been.
This is one of the things that I love about the History Center, though, is that that becomes part of the story. Is this the gun? Because if this was the person, possibly, and yeah.
That happens more often than not because it happened in my entire life where my
entire life is a lie.
grandfather and then they're like, this is.
Did you know his grandfather was a Cherokee Civil War veteran?
It's all not real.
Yeah.
Like it's just telephone game.
Fighter pilot, Native American astronaut.
They're like, this is a gun your pop-up had in World War II. I'm like, oh, okay.
He smuggled it at his rear
and then
end.
it turns out like this gun was made in the 70s. Like, God damn it!
This is a 1996 9mm.
Nothing I was ever. And then I imagine that happens in so many families where the
Civil War sword.
Yeah, because human psychology, where is a telephone game, and then all of a sudden it gets to you, and like, oh, this is passed down from generations, and you turned out none of it's real.
Also, I think some families are so boring that you sit around and you think, like, okay, this pencil. You know what? I'm just going to tell my kids that this is the magical pencil.
This is John Wick's pencil.
Yeah, from your grandma. I'm going to give up some. I'm bored.
So Billy, what started the feud? Let's start from the beginning of why the feud started.
All right, I'm going to give you the first ingredient we talked about in that recipe. And the first ingredient is two families that just don't like each other. That's the first thing you need for a good family feud.
Okay.
And so these families didn't like each other for decades before the actual feud erupted in 1870. So when you say, when did it start? There were many episodes leading up to that.
Just nothing quite. That was substantial.
Yeah,
for lack of a better way.
What caused it to explode was in February of 1870. One of the Mizells was trying to serve a notice on Mr. Barber at his ranch, and before he could get there, he was shot dead. Who shot him? And so the questions were flying, and some people were claiming responsibility, and others.
Seems
were
like
being
you were
accused.
a lot easier to just people like. I feel like maybe I shouldn't say this.
What?
It just feels like that it was a free time where they're like, oh, somebody's coming up to serve. It's like, oh, we'll shoot him. That feels like it was okay. It's like, oh, he's going to tell me some bad news. We'll just shoot him.
Well, imagine the balls.
Because it'll give us 2 more months. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like they were like, like, it was my property, you're on my property, you're going to do something I don't like, I'm just going to shoot you. And I do that all the time. I'm allowed to because
but I also
it's
feel
my property.
So it's a time where everybody has guns, right? Everybody has guns, and everybody's mad, and they're hungry, and they got diarrhea.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. Yeah.
Right?
And they have the humidity and the
Never
mosquitoes.
underestimate the anger of diarrhea.
They're being bit by mosquitoes, and they're dying of diarrhea. And their teeth hurt, and they're like, I'm going to die.
I know what'll make it feel better.
And
Misery loves company. I'm going to blow your head off.
And so you're one of the Mizells, and then you're like, I have to serve this court document.
Hello, anybody in there?
To some guy who doesn't like me already. You're like, I'm not going to go there. This seems like a high likelihood that I'm going to be killed. Right? It's like people are being killed everywhere.
That was the thing, is he didn't like anybody on his land.
No way
didn't he make a declaration? Moses said, hey, if anybody else goes on my land, I'm sick, I've had it. He did it, I've had it.
Yeah, he did. The sheriff had gone out there on a previous occasion to serve another court paper.
He did the Tom.
And the quote from Moses Barber was, Sheriff, if you ever come into my herd again, you're going to leave feet first, implying they're going to carry you out.
Right.
So that had already happened, and yet he still went back to serve that second paper. That was not good judgment.
So then after the original
pretty ballsy,
shooting, the barber shot one of the Mizells, and that just sparked this feud. And how long do you say it went on for?
It didn't. Well, some say it's still going on. So the actual the violence was done by 1870, but the lingering effects went on for decades. I found a quote when I was doing my research for the Lunch and Learn that there was a sheriff of Osceola County, our neighbor to the south, in 1962-64, in that time frame, that they were interviewing him about the Barber-Mizell feud, which had happened almost 100 years before. And he's like, I don't want to talk about that. I can't talk about that in public to this day because I'll risk offending one side or the other.
Right.
Now, he wasn't personally, physically, challenged, and he didn't think they were going to shoot him
Now
or
you're
anything.
telling us this
But he's like,
discussion
I'm going to
is
lose
risky.
votes.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, which goes back to our red and blue discussion of how we started.
Yeah.
That's very interesting of how politically ingrained they really are to
I just heard from a lady the other day who was a tour guide at Lou Gardens, which there's a tie into the feud with Lou Gardens, and she said that that house there used to be where the Mizells lived, and the Mizells are buried there. There's a little cemetery, and come on Friday, you learn more.
Small grave is supposedly. I think
Don't tell it all, Bill.
The smallest grave is supposed to be the sheriff's, right? I think.
Well, he's buried there.
Yeah.
It's a little family cemetery. But,
At Lou Gardens?
Yeah.
Wow.
You didn't know that?
There's a cemetery in Lou
You
Gardens.
didn't know that?
No.
God, I knew that. No big deal. I know a lot of stuff. I'm cute too.
Lord.
I'm just trying to make them laugh now. I'm just having fun with my friends. What are you doing there? I'm just having fun with my friends.
He's got a...
So, which family owned the land of that Lou Gardens is on?
The
Mizells. Yeah,
okay.
so there's a lady over there that's a tour guide that gives the tour of the house that's there today. And she was telling me to this date that whenever she's giving the tour and she mentions the name Mizell, woe unto her if there's a barber in the group or knows anything.
Oh, my gosh.
These are where the Mizells live. So there's still grumbling today about it. So
Not my Lou Gardens.
That's right, Mizell.
Yeah.
There was also a little bit of Romeo and Juliet later on, and you probably tell me where the barber married a Mizell.
What?
Like the young, some young teen barber, teen Mizell. Like they
He's just so hot, Daddy.
had a love affair. But that pissed some people off.
Fair game.
So when did that happen?
Fairly recently. The lady that wrote the book about the feud, that's considered the seminal work on it, The Way It Was, probably 2017 or so, she was a descendant of the Barbers who married, a descendant of the Mizells who married a barber, and wrote from both perspectives for her children's benefit to say, hey, I grew up learning this side of the story. Your dad grew up learning this side of the story. I want you guys to know both sides and sort of dispassionately.
There you go.
Very good book, by the way.
They're actually this story is actually in development for a children's cartoon. Right, I don't know if you
You're
got.
killing Billy, by the way.
I'm just having fun with my friends.
Also,
Would you watch my cartoon?
I will not watch it.
It's called the Lil Barbers.
It would work as anime, I think.
It would, Lil Barbers. Yeah.
I get most of my history knowledge through television shows.
I know you do. I know you do.
And
right now he's watching Landman.
Hey.
Are you on that Landman?
Oh, yeah, I'm on that too.
The prequel to Yellowstone, I think it was like 1890.
1883.
1883.
Yeah, get it, Billy.
Close enough,
Billy, shut him down. Billy's my friend.
Hey, you know what? 1923 is better. So.
Yeah, I like the 1883 better.
You did? All right.
But
fighting.
One of the things that for whatever reason
you don't like old people, and you don't like Harrison Ford, and you don't like his helicopter earring.
Where's your earring for? Put it back in.
No Mizell would have an earring. I'll tell you that.
So I don't know why this disturbs me, and it's perfectly it makes sense. But and a spoiler alert about 1883, but it's been out a lot. But when someone gets hit by an arrow, right, and even if they take it out and they don't die right away, it's a death sentence, right? Because they pierced
what, the arrow. No, you break it off.
No, I'm saying just being wounded.
You can't pull it out. You got to break it off and leave it in until you get where you're going.
Yeah. Well, that death sentence. No matter what, you are going to die from infection, and there's nothing that no one can do. And then it's it for whatever reason it disturbs me because I'm like, well, this can be fixed, and there's no one can fix it.
So what I would do, I get myself a whiskey, I go sit alone for a little bit, and then I'd go lay with my wife one last time, and then I drag myself out to an old oak tree, and put my hat down,
Oh gosh!
and
Well, that's
Sweet kiss,
romantic.
good night.
The reality,
And I taste that steel.
Well,
Dark.
reality is you get like a 5 to 10 day infection that kills you painfully and slowly.
Oh, where you go delirious.
And you're
You go wild.
screaming, and
Yeah.
then they put you out. And they're like, "Oh God, we can't handle this guy screaming."
Yeah, put him on a wagon and set the wagon on fire.
Billy
Start a
knows.
feud.
He's a historian.
Start shooting people.
So these
Yeah.
when these people get shot, like even if it was like a flesh wound, you're like, I'm dead. You're gonna just die of infection, you know. So like taking a bullet in anywhere like would be a death sentence, and it was just such a hard life
Also,
in the late 1800s.
I also
Crazy.
think of the bullets that I see in the History Center at exhibits, in what you guys send me or I'll read, and I'm like, that's not the bullets that we know. These are just crude slugs of metal that would just tear your bones apart. And what you're saying is there's a lot of truth to it. It's like you're not getting it's not just like a gunshot wound. You just put your hand on it and it stops bleeding. It's like the whole side of your love handle's been torn off. You know, like you're just
there's
like,
no fixing that.
No, it's like just go lay outside and we'll start building the cross.
So there was actually gunfights and multiple gunfights with multiple people.
The highest
in this
number
feud,
I got
right?
to was between 13 and 15 people over the entire course of the thing killed.
During the year 1870.
And I think that's exaggerated from what they say.
No.
Oh, yeah. Get me.
There's an actual 1870 mortality schedule that lists the people and what they died of and all that. So,
How many were there?
I think the 12 to 13 is fairly accurate during the year 1870, but a lot of stuff happened in the decades before and a lot of stuff happened in the decades
There you
after.
go.
Also, not everybody that died in this feud died of a bullet wound. Some folks were forcibly drowned.
That's right.
I did see that on Wikipedia. Like they all gunshot, then were drowned. I was like, wait a minute.
It wasn't just drowned. It said drowned by vigilantes.
That's right.
Yeah, and the vigilantes part is having like, that sounds like crazy people. You know, like that's the worst way to go is when the crazy people are like, get out. I'd rather drown peacefully alone.
Yeah, tell me that story. Like they went out and found someone and drowned them.
This is the story that got me interested in the feud when I was a young.
The chat room loves you guys, by the way. They're absolutely loving this. Well, go sign up for the luncheon.
Yeah, come on down.
Go hang out, y'all.
And you can either be there or you can also watch it online, whichever is more convenient. But get registered.
Cool. So that was the story. If you head south on Fern Creek to the north shore of Lake Conway, you know where that kind of dead ends at Water Witch Point over there.
Oh yeah, I take my boat out there.
Yeah, you're probably familiar.
It's a lot different nowadays, Billy.
It is. But as a kid, we were told that's where the ghost of Moses Barber Jr., Little Mose, was haunting that.
Little Mo, that's Moses DeWitt's puppet's name.
Well, I saw it. So just call me Mo.
The reggaeton scared that ghost away.
Fair game.
It's too
loud around here.
I had my wrong sound effect on.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hold on, I didn't have on my right ghost. There's my ghost.
And it's the boat ramp. It's sorry. So what happened? How'd they drown him?
They tied a plowshare around his neck and put him in a croaker sack and threw him overboard.
Oh man!
Then
I knew that detail.
Then he escaped and they shot him.
Hold on, he escaped from that?
Yeah.
So they put in a croaker sack. Explain to what is that?
A burlap bag.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Similar to a potato sack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's basically what
It's
EJ
perfect.
wears when he comes. What EJ wears when he comes to be on the show. A muumuu.
And then they put a heavy, like a piece of plowing equipment around his
Right.
neck.
Yeah.
Right.
And then so to drag him down to the bottom of Lake
Yes.
Conway.
Right. He somehow escaped from the sack and floated to the top, and they started just shooting at him. So.
Oh my God!
Imagine that. You get to the top, you're like, I did it. Oh, I'm dead. That's bad. That's bad.
And subsequent inquiries found out he did not die of the bullet wounds. He did drown, but he was wounded and couldn't swim to the shore. So as a kid, getting back to why I was fascinated as a kid, we were always told when you get to that intersection, haul butt because the ghost of Little Mose is going to get you. So
I love this.
Yeah.
Does Moses DeWitt know this? We can use this.
What if I'm like partying on this Lake Conway sandbar and I step on his skeleton?
Yeah. That would.
And
Make
then
you drop your White Claw.
and It's like so multiple people, like obviously the 13 people were killed in this feud, and then we had the young. I guess family members, they married, and then I saw on Wikipedia that kind of maybe dampered down the actual feud, but you said it didn't really end there, but it kind of it publicly didn't like end.
Yeah, the violence ended, but
Okay.
the natural disposition to just dislike each other had been going on for so long before that they just continued to at least poke fun at the fact, oh, you're a Myzelli or a barber and that sort of thing.
It must be comforting though. You're like, you know who you're supposed to hate. You don't have to go searching for people.
That's
to
true.
dislike.
It's innate.
It's like you grow up and it's just like there's a handbook for it. Yeah, I'm with you guys on that.
We should create a Van Dennis feud at the end of our career.
We can do it.
And then tell our kids, like, perpetuate this.
Yeah.
You know,
It's not real, but
just so maybe we become legends one day.
Yeah.
Not
a bad idea. Or we could do earlier today. We were talking about we could do the Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen way.
Don't talk to Billy about that.
Yeah, that's where one of his sons then marries or gets with my wife.
So,
that'd be weird.
So, Billy, tell us about the Lunch and Learn. You're going to be discussing this whole feud from the beginning to the end.
We're going to give
on
the three
Friday.
basic ingredients
Okay.
and all that. The other cool thing we didn't really touch on yet, and we will on Friday, is that any good family feud draws in other families.
Ooh.
So there are some other folks that are going to be there for the name Bronson.
The Campbells.
The Campbells.
Well, this is very
Getting
much
started
like
on the Campbells.
This is Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
This is redneck Florida Game of Thrones. That's
House Mizell versus House Barber.
Yeah, but then they call out favors from other people. It's like no different than when you go to the shipping people and you're like, hey, Andy.
Tell myself, that's your uncle. Well, it's gross. It's hard for me to get past it. Yeah, it's like, okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. If I'm in the turret and I look and there's a little kid standing there, I'm pushing him out. I'm like, you're not talking about that to anybody.
Scotty, how do you sign up if you want to watch this online?
Sure. You just go to thehistorycenter.org/events, and you'll see all of our events listed there. But on top, you'll see the recipe for revenge, and you can just sign up right there online. If you have any issues, there's a phone number to call, and there you can come and not have lunch. You can come and bring your own lunch, or you can have lunch ordered for you, or you could also watch it online.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, Billy, thanks.
That was so fun, you guys. Thanks for doing that.
Absolutely. It's a
We love
pleasure.
it when you guys come in here and start telling us
We
about
love coming.
We didn't even talk
history.
about the prostitutes that were involved in this film.
I
was waiting for that. I figured you did your research.
I didn't know about the prostitutes.
I think maybe that's a mediocre time.
Hold on. Billy just said our word of the day.
Get ready.
Bring in the prostitutes.
And could you imagine it'd be rough?
Yeah, but hold on a second. We talked about this, and I'm rough. But think about me.
No, I know. I'm just saying a very stinky situation. It's just, it is. It just that is what it is.
It's
it's just stinky. You're just riding a horse. You haven't showered. Oh God, it's muddy. You got mud feet. You have the blood.
A frog just fell out of my saddlebag.
They're trying to drown me.
That'll ruin the mood, right? When you go in there, you go upstairs with the prostitute, and then, a toad just fell out of my saddlebag.
All right, we got to get out of here. Again, thehistorycenter.org.
We did a lot of bad.
Billy, we'd love to talk to you again.
Man.
Absolutely.
Anytime you want to come in,
we'll do
bring
this
us a
again.
story. And guys, we will see you soon.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Let's do some weird jobs.
All right, I'm going to give you guys a choice. Well, you know what? I'm giving you no choice. I'm going to present you a new Weird Job Wednesday theme song that I worked on really, really hard. Now, when I say worked on really, really hard, I'm getting a lot better with my prompts on AI, and I wanted to give you like a wicked Broadway Rent style big show kind of a stopper with different voices and background noises and actors and like you can almost hear the Broadway action, and I think I was actually able to get pretty close. So through working through multitudes of prompts, and I'm just hemorrhaging money throwing at, because every time you do one of these it's like $6, and this took about 100 tries.
Okay, well,
yeah. So don't
that's
look,
$600.
Yeah, don't look at the MasterCard. So here we go. This is our latest weird job. Let's do it.
Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really liked it. Oh, yes, he did. Tom said that's bullshit. Just another
That's you evil
Weird
laughing.
Job Wednesday.
That was you evil laughing.
Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower, looking down on all the people that are working by
I love this harmony here.
Weird Job Wednesday. Just another weird job.
People flying out of cannons. Here come the little people. Everybody's dancing. Here comes Glenda. Here comes Glenda.
Another weird job witness day.
Okay, here comes you. Here comes you. You're the wizard. And you come down. You're descending. This is you. You're going to do a run here. You're going to sing. This is your big finale.
Thank you, Tom.
We're dancing. Bring it back down. Bring it back down. Bring it back down. This is your big final. This is your finale. Sing it, Tom.
Oh, yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Just another weird job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah! 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 Yeah!
That's insane.
Yeah! Oh,
Think about, like, if someone's like,
God, imagine that at Dr. Phillips, dude. That'll blow your off. I can't say that. Can't say that. That would blow your off, though. It would.
if someone was like, make this into a Broadway musical, now you could do it with, I mean, how long did that really take you?
Well, I mean, like in massaging the prompts, that probably took about 40 minutes.
Okay, yeah. So the worst case scenario, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And you get what would have taken someone, I mean, if someone was just given that concept, like to put that together and then have someone perform it, it would.
Okay, here's the bad part.
7 or 8 months.
Here's the bad part. Let me give you the bad part. Sometimes it creates horrible things, like what I'm about to show you. I have, with any good mad scientist, when you're in your laboratory working on things, some things come out great, and sometimes you create some monsters. And I created, I'm sorry I'm a little winded from that dance number, but I created what I'm calling the Doogie Howser 3000.
All right.
I created a digital David Jolly.
Okay.
I created a special needs digital black guy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is digital David Jolly. This is the monster.
Weird Job Wednesday. What you doing? What's your job? Stacking checks, clocking in. Are you neat? Are you tidy? Fresh and clean. Silver me. Or are you a fast slob? Big Billy, instrumental. Do you make lots of money? Bankroll. Standing up, getting your top. I'm looking down. Watch and keep a working hours. Want so hard, I fine. Just another weird job Wednesday for Weird Job Wednesday. Oh yes, we Weird Job Wednesday. Let you go.
I think he says booty juice in there one time. I heard booty juice.
What prompt was that? Like a acapella?
That was my elbow on the keyboard. And, do you want to get to our Weird Job guest? Ladies and gentlemen, on the line with us is Kara. Hey, Kara.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good.
So, Kara, tell us about your weird job.
Okay, well, I didn't know which one you wanted me to chit-chat about, my actual job or my weird sort of...
Let's start with your actual job about the plastic.
Okay. So I actually work for a large grocery retailer, and I work with their suppliers on helping reduce their plastic waste.
All right.
So I talk to grocery suppliers all day long and teach them how to use software to input their data because they're collecting data to see what different items in the grocery store are made out of certain kind of plastic so they can capture how much they sell and then equate that to like a gross tonnage, and then they're changing, like we're going to change from this plastic to this different packaging, and then they can show that they have reduced their waste. And this also helps with compliance as different states pass laws for how, like, what has to be made out of recycled plastic and whatnot.
So who pays for that? Is it like...
Oh, that's Tom's way of saying he thinks it's stupid.
No, I'm just wondering, is it the grocery store? Is it a third-party company?
I'm being paid by the grocery store.
Thank God, I thought you were going to say China. And I was like, oh, my God, I knew it. I knew it. I knew you're one of them.
Technically, it is a European company that does own a U.S. branch, if that makes sense.
What benefit is it to the grocery stores to like have the people making the products with less plastic?
It has to be compliant with laws that different states have passed. As far as like in New Jersey. Any beverage that's sold now as starting with January 1st has to be like a certain percentage of recycled plastic. But then also it does help on just like, I think one thing that this job has like shown me is just like how much actual waste there is. And just by making simple tweaks on what things are packaged in does really make a difference. Like if you think about...
it's kind of like me and weight loss, you know. I've started taking the stairs, and just a simple taking the stairs, I'm down about 3.5 inches on my waistline.
Exactly.
It's baby steps, Kara. It's baby steps, right? I mean, we're all in this together.
Don't get thrown off, Kara.
We're all in this together, more the same than we are different.
But it is, I mean, it is kind of in a way, it's kind of a boring job, but I like it because I do work from home. I don't have like a set schedule, and I can just I just have to email these suppliers and sometimes take calls with them, and they're just sharing their screen with me, and I'm just teaching them how to input data. That's all I'm really doing.
Hold on a second. You can steal their money. This is what the Indian people do to old people. They share the screen, and then you get them you click the thing, and then you take their money.
Yeah,
that's a lot of trust that these people put in you, Kara.
I'm going to start asking this question to every work-from-home employee that we interview. Is it what
they did for my colonoscopy?
No,
you have diarrhea. Yes. Goodbye.
Kara, for a prize money of $1 million, could you get through a full year with only doing 40 hours of actual work without getting fired? That's the caveat to this.
40.
Like the bet is
only.
If I bet you $1 million, you can only do 40 hours of actual work, but you have to be employed by this same company a year later. Like you can push it off or like fake, scam whatever you want, but you only can do 40 hours of work. Could you do that?
I could do it for a couple months, not a year.
No,
and
that's an honest answer.
Okay,
and this is coming from the guy who hates hypotheticals. You know how hard it is for him to give you a hypothetical? He hates hypotheticals.
I've had 2 jobs at once before from home, and neither of the companies knew about the other.
Who gets the butt?
So, all right.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
By the way, I've asked another person this, and they said, "Oh yeah, I could do it." 40 hours the whole year.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Kara,
you're not talking about my wife, are you?
So let's talk about plastic for a second because, my sons watch Mark Rober and Mr. Beast, and I did come in contact or come across his clean up the oceans thing, which I will say.
You're talking about Mr. Beast?
Yeah, or Mark Rober got into it with him and some other YouTubers.
Anytime Mr. Beast has one of those Tom and Dan straw hats on, I know he's going to talk about the ocean. It's facts. Yeah. It's facts. Anytime you see Mr. Beast with a big straw hat on, he's at the beach.
And of all things, I do like that he picked cleaning up the oceans and putting in because you could actually see a difference. You're like, oh wow, that's a lot of trash. No, I guess
you're right. Has he been to our oceans? What ocean is he cleaning up? He's not in Florida. He must be in California.
The worst,
and that is burning.
The worst, offenders are different countries.
Yeah.
And there's one apparently like
we got to build an ocean wall.
There's some village that just trashes up this river, and it's just a river of trash just going into the ocean. And it's like, oh my God,
I want to see that.
And
talk about tourism, vacations. I want to go to see the trash river.
And the plastic trash is the most disheartening for whatever reason because it's unnatural, and you're just like
I've thought about
tires are better to me than plastic. Like floating Lunchable containers seem worse than tires.
All it is, and I figured this out one night when I was really high.
Yeah.
It's just because all the plastic has goofy, crazy colors, like this Mountain Dew bottle is lime green. If they started making all the plastic look like wood, we'd be fine with it.
Make it all blue like the ocean.
Actually,
we're doing hacky stand-up here.
Sorry, go ahead, girl.
The color of plastic actually does matter. Like, if you notice, like Sprite used to be in green plastic, but now it's not anymore. It's in clear because it's easier to recycle clear plastic. And so, like, certain things you might notice in the grocery stores, you're not going to see a lot of black plastic as much anymore because black plastic absorbs light, and so it can't be sorted in recycle centers because it's invisible to infrared sensors.
Huh.
So that's like a weird thing that you see. Like, you'll see less black plastic. We're going to white plastic.
White plastic.
I was waiting to see. Did you notice I was quiet? Did you notice I was waiting to see? I was waiting to see. I was like, is he going to take it? It was like fishing. It was like fishing. I was like sitting there. I felt like I was back at the cabin in Georgia. I was like, I'm fishing, I'm waiting, looking for a bite.
Kara, what's the worst egregious packaging you've seen? Where it's like,
oh, you know what I love? I buy it. I buy these sometimes with Maisie. It's those reveal balls. It's like a ball, and it's like you open the ball, like it's wrapped in a million levels of like that plastic that you use a hairdryer to suction around.
Okay, yeah.
It's wrapped in 45 different levels of plastic wrap, and you open all of those as a puzzle, and then you fold open the plastic, and you open each one of these little orange slice, like little triangles, and then you pull out a bunch of plastic crap. It's all plastic. The whole thing is toxic.
I like when the pile of plastic that it comes in is like 5 times the size of the actual.
I forget what these things are called. I wish Andrea was in the chat room, but I forget what they're called. But they're like a reveal, like a blind box toy.
God, I hate plastic.
Me
like
too.
the whole playroom, my kid's playroom is piled with plastic, and I look at it disgusted by it.
I know, and they love it. They love it so.
Anyway, what's the worst egregious plastic?
Laminates. Laminates are they can't be recycled. Those, think of like a box of crackers, and it comes in like a bag. Those bags usually are laminates, so they're different layers. So it'll have like maybe a metal, like a foil layer, and then a plastic layer,
yes,
and things like that. Yeah, they can't be recycled. So those are some of the worst things.
So do you have any effect on any of the manufacturers as far as like getting them to change it at the source?
Yes. Yeah. So the goal of this project is to, like I said, identify where the worst plastics are and like see. If they only sell 100,000 units of that a year, that's not that big of a deal. But if they sell like millions of them, then that's a problem. So I've seen them change. Like, one of the big things are like styrofoam containers. Like, I know that in the grocery store that I do help, they no longer have like the styrofoam like mushroom holders. So they're made out of molded fiber, which is just recycled cardboard. So those are things that will break down. And they also do that. They have also switched that in their in the meat department as well. So instead of having like the styrofoam trays, lots of times they're made out of like cellulose container, like plant fiber, and like cardboard.
Yeah, I've seen the ones now that are like molded, so they can be recycled. And I kind of like them better because they don't make that weird squeaky noise that meat makes because of the styrofoam.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
And my wife buys these cage-free fancy eggs.
Yeah.
And you open them, and then there's another plastic cover on top of that. It's two plastic
it's
covers.
like the Pepperidge Farm bread.
And then I look at it, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure these two plastic covers are doing more damage than any chickens in cages anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, like this.
But that was the contract. The chickens wanted the extra flap in order to lay the eggs cage-free.
Kara, before we run out of time, I'm curious about your side hustle. So tell us about that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've got like 20. But one of the ones is driving the Amish around. So my parents live out in the country, and they do live in an Amish community, and sometimes we drive the Amish places that they can't get to, like maybe like to go see a doctor, or like just to go into town where it might not be safe for them to take their buggy. So oddly enough, my mother is a midwife. And so she's like she's somebody trusted in the Amish community already because they knew her. So then they trust us to drive them somewhere.
So you guys are like
you're
daywalkers.
Amish Uber.
Yeah, you're like Blade. You can go between worlds.
How do they contact you to...
They put a light in the air like Batman.
Well, actually, it really depends on the bishop and whether or not he's like...
Oh, wait, hold on. Don't say anything, because this is what I want it to be. I want him to have to light a candle in a window, and you have to see it to know they need a ride.
Like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Actually, I know that the particular community that we have helped, they have... this is so insane to me. They literally built like a little like outhouse sort of building on their neighbor's property, and they have a telephone in that little building. So technically, it's not on their property. On the Amish property, it's on their neighbor's
It's the workaround, like our friend called in and told us about the Jewish community in New York City. Yeah, then it's not real. If you guys are going to have a workaround, it's not real. We went through this with the New York Jewish population.
Don't you think God sees it? Or they're like, you're using the payphone right up next to your property.
God absolutely sees it.
You're trying to trick me? Yeah. I'll kill all of you.
Yeah. God will smite you for that. And God, look, here's another thing God sees.
Don't they know?
God sees you take your bonnet off when you're watching Bob's Burgers, and you shouldn't be watching that.
So they're allowed to use the phone off their property.
Yeah, it just depends on what your particular bishop or your minister in your community, how strict he is on what they do and do not allow. So they will call us and ask if we're able to take them. So usually it's like just a town and stuff, and the place that they like to go to the most is like Walmart or Aldi.
They like Walmart.
You know what
Walmart's everything. It's against the Amish
but they have
religion.
everything. Have you been to Walmart? It's awesome. I love it. Why do you think I love it?
Shouldn't it be the devil compared to them? It's a giant corporation pumping out.
But somebody else is driving me.
The electronics and
the devil can only jump on your buggy, and my buggy's not there. You don't know any of the Bible. You know none of the Bible.
They're wandering around Walmart as the devil.
The only way the devil can jump on the Amish is if you drive your buggy to the Walmart, then the devil gets on the buggy, and then you take it back to your homestead.
So,
idiot.
Carol, what do you charge them? Is it like a flat rate, or do you...
I hope you run a meter, but it's an old hand-cranked meter, and you make them crank it by hand. And you're like, this is what you get for not having electricity, you morons!
Honestly, lots of times we just trade. So, I might get, a flat of strawberries or,
Oh, my God, a flat of strawberries? No. I'm not taking you down to the Walmart for a flat of strawberries. Why don't you...
That's $8.
It just depends on what is going on.
Why don't you whip at that buttermilk bush? And,
they're making money. They're making money on the mattresses, the beds. I see
candles. They sell all this
the
candles.
furniture.
Yeah, and I've seen, you know what, and all their knitting, that's all garbage. I saw this lady online that it was like Amish knit caps. There's a machine that does it, and you crank it, she can make a knit cap in 2 minutes. I'm like, Amish. The jig is up, Amish.
Well, some people don't realize, lots of the Amish, they have generators and stuff. They'll have generators that they turn on to power, tools and stuff.
Furman generators are
use,
good.
power tools and stuff. Which is weird. They don't really...
What's it feel like?
Yeah,
it's gotta feel.
Hold on, they just do whatever they want. Well, what's the rules then?
Everybody just does whatever they want now.
So they have generators.
Haven't you seen? Weed's legal.
So they power up generators. That's electricity. What that?
Yeah.
Well, what's the rules
No, I
then?
mean, you can justify anything.
Yeah,
to whatever
It's only for.
Well, then I'm not picking them up anymore. I'll just be drive. Just put your car.
Get your own car. Get a smart car.
Put your truck on the neighbor's yard and then just drive it whenever you want. You can do whatever you want. You have the generator. Just get a cell phone then. There's porn.
No, they only use landlines. That is something that the chat room's saying they only use landlines.
Okay, landlines count as
And I can't explain it. I don't know what they're. That is just how they justify.
They're choosing to have a terrible life.
All right, Kara. Well, thank you for doing a weird job with us. We appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll see you soon.
Yeah, and I apologize for saying buttermilk bush. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine. Can I share with you one weird packaging item that I learned?
I prefer that you not. We'll see you later. No, please.
Listen, so you know that like when you buy meat, like or hamburger or something, that little absorbent pad that is underneath the meat. You want to know? Guess what that is called?
Is it called a maxi pad?
Yeah.
No, you're close.
Yeah. I call it the meat pad.
Okay, hold on. Don't tell us. Hold on. Meat pad's good.
Which I do hold up. I'm like, ew. I'm like, this is disgusting.
I usually.
It's like it's a bloody pad. I'm eating out of it.
I usually hold it up and I go, ew, Mama June. And then my wife goes, you disgust me.
It's called a meat diaper.
No, it's not.
You're lying.
Hold on. Meat diaper.
It's not. Tom said meat pad, and that's way more regular than meat diaper.
It's called a meat diaper?
I have entered in what the weight of a meat diaper is.
Wow. Would you wrap? Hey, Kara, would you wrap me in a meat diaper? Would you swaddle me in a meat diaper?
All right.
Of course.
Okay, thank you. All right, we love you. That was the right answer. Okay, we love you, Kara. Get out of here.
You're gross.
She's one of my favorite listeners of all time. How is she? She's pretty young to have done everything that she's ever told us she's done. We have a lot of listeners that are like that.
Yeah, but she's kind of gypsy-ish.
I thought you were saying she's kind of Egyptian.
Gypsy-ish.
I don't think you could say that.
Yeah. You can now. You can definitely.
She's like, didn't she do the cave tours or something?
Yeah. She's doing a lot of
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I'm telling you, the Amish are close to gypsy too. They'll do a bunch of odd jobs and they're lying to their god. They do whatever they want.
Well, wouldn't it be? Why not just get somebody in a buggy to take you? And then you're not.
Well, you can't take their buggy to Walmart because there's no But first, the horse doo-doo's all over the ground.
No, they have those. Yeah, you just put a trough under it.
But then the people are honking at you. It's a big pain in the ass, and they
you get a gun. You hold. You ride slowly and hold your gun out. They won't do anything.
All right, we will see you tomorrow. Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube right now. And guess what time it is, Tom?
It's a live call.
Call the show.
What's the number now?
1-844 Tom and Dan.
Say what?
1-844 Tom and Dan.
Say it again, please.
1-844 Tom and Dan.
I didn't write it down.
1-844 Tom and Dan.
That time I wrote it down.
It's live call day with Tom and Dan. First caller, line 1, Mike B's on.
Let's go live to Mike B. What's going on, Mike B?
Not much, guys. How are you guys?
Pretty good. So what are you up to today, B?
It's my second day vacation.
Hey, what is a Mike B? What does Orlando's leading vegan chef do on vacation?
Basically, just clean my house and hang out.
Okay. All right. You need to talk
Not
to
much
Tom
of a
then.
vacation,
That's what I do.
man.
You need to talk to Tom then, because see, Tom,
Yeah,
when Tom
you
goes
need
on
to-
vacation, he goes a Hawaii volcano.
Yeah, you need the Hawaii volcano.
He goes a wife rocketing down a mountain.
yeah.
Snowmobile.
Where's the adventure, Mike
there's
B?
no adventure in this. You did the Dan. That is not a vacation. You did not do a vacation. The Dan is my wife, or excuse me, my daughter. Oh, my God, Freudian. My daughter's at dance so much that I'm just going to stay at the house and die.
You need to spend your vacation time working hard on adventures.
No. I work on adventures all damn day for the vegans that eat at my place.
Yeah. Give him a plug.
That's called working. There's a difference between working and adventures. I don't know.
Work is my adventure.
I
Tom.
like that I've seen some of the creations he comes up with. Give where you work a shout out if maybe one of our listeners is vegan and wants to swing through and get some of Orlando's premier vegan cuisine. Where would they find you, Mr. B?
Yeah, you can come on down to Dharma Southern Chicken on Old Cheney Highway. We're open pretty much every day of the week.
Tom
you get
and I
some fine vegan vittles. It's mostly like vegan chicken sandwiches and stuff.
Yeah, it's vegan. Just think good vegan chicken sandwich, and you'll be just fine.
Old Cheney reminds me of Dick Cheney.
Yeah, I know. And then and then it makes me want to go Old Dick, right? It makes me want to say that.
No, and then that reminds me of, was he the guy with the magic? Oh, no, that was
No, that was Mitt Romney.
Mitt Romney.
Are you done with Mike B? Okay, bye, Mike B. We love you, buddy.
I had a complaint.
Okay,
go
please.
ahead.
All right, please. You have the line.
Yeah. So yesterday, my wife and I, first day of vacation, we're heading on over to the Salvation Army to do some discount thrifting because on Wednesday it's cheaper than the rest of the week.
Okay. Again, another thing that people don't normally list as on their list of adventures, but I like it. Yeah, also, $5 sushi day at Publix. Andrea's dad told me that.
Yeah, I love buying things that people threw away.
Stop. Why are you being mean?
Well, Dan, side note, we also did $5 public sushi afterwards.
Yeah, you have to do the $5 public sushi because how else are you going to put more diarrhea into the diarrhea pants you just bought at the Salvation Army?
How do you value something that someone threw away?
I know.
It seems hard, right?
Yeah.
You're like,
you have to lower your levels, right?
You should pay me to come get this stuff away from
you.
Yeah.
And then you should shoo me away.
Yeah. These people just threw this away because you were closer than the dump.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we have another caller on the line. Please hold the line, sir. We'll get with you momentarily. Mike B., what was your complaint again?
So anyways, there's a gentleman, I guess, dropping off like an elderly person. So he parks right in front of the door.
I hate
Super
it when
normal,
people
happens.
drop off the elderly. You should park and have to walk just as far as I do. You don't get dropped off anymore. We're stopping that. Sign legislation for it.
Well, anyways, in probably the 10, 15 seconds it takes for this guy to stop and let this woman out, another older gentleman stops right next to him to complain and tell him he shouldn't be stopping in front of the doorway
it's
like
a slow
that.
complaint.
And now they have effectively blocked the entire lane.
Yeah.
And now nobody can go through because this old man is just so dead set on telling this guy that he doesn't need to park there that now no one can move through.
Yeah, no, this is why Tom says path of least resistance, right? I'm going to eventually become one of those old men. You are not. You are not going to become one of those.
Yeah. See, Mike B., the problem is the place you're going. See, you know what I'm saying?
You need to go to a place where younger people go.
Yeah, also.
And faster complaints.
Places where people aren't buying things that other people threw away. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the number one problem and theme of this whole thing.
Two of the highest concentrations of old men slowly complaining are at the dump and the Salvation Army.
Yeah. It all revolves around
At what age do you just decide that you need to be the complainer? You need to tell everybody everything
it's
that's wrong.
Me now. I'm turning like Herschel from Walking Dead. Like, if you don't put a tourniquet around my legs at some point, it's going to get to my brain. Right? I mean, I do feel like that. I feel like it's coming to get me. I feel like it's coming to get you. Some days you have a full-blown complaint attack and you freak out about everybody in business.
But I just like telling the people that are otherwise having a good day and I'm trying to ruin it.
Yeah.
I guess that's what these old men are doing, right? They just want to ruin other people's day with their complaints. All right, Mike B.
Well, we love you, buddy, and good luck. Give the Dharma team some love from us, okay?
Will do, guys. Love you. Have a great day.
All right, you too, man. All right, we got another guy. Caller, or did you hold through that? Thank you for calling a Corporate Time live call Thursdays.
I'm here.
So what do you want to talk about today, sir?
Today is my first day of MegaCon. Do you guys want to guess what my wife and I are dressing as?
All right. Oh, yeah. I saw that all online.
Yeah, well,
the BDMs are out there.
Well, based on your voice, it's not a man.
I'm going to go. Hold on. Okay, just give me. Okay, give me.
No, I'm going to get it. Super Mario.
No.
No, but we did that one year.
Okay.
I get points. I'm on the board.
Let me ask 3 relevant questions.
Oh, you're like that genie game that Maisie plays that guesses all my thoughts. Have you played that? Do your kids have that? Maisie has this Alakazam game that the thing steals all my thoughts. You can think of any person in the world and it'll think of it for you.
Is the character older than 1990 or newer than 1990?
That's good. That's a good question.
It's a pair of characters. One is from 1989, and the other is from 1997.
All right.
89. You are Bigfoot, the monster truck, and your wife is Gravedigger.
I thought you meant from Howard Stern.
the MegaCon people aren't into monster trucks. That's the rednecks. So are they? You would think it would be, but there's no crossover.
No. It's the only nerd thing that is only for rednecks.
Yeah. It's the redneck nerds.
Yeah, redneck nerds love it. Look how big them tires are, man. That's physics.
Yeah. They also are into tactical guns.
They do like that,
There's the nerd gun people. Okay,
Hold
is
on,
it in the
89 and 97 is what you said, right, sir?
Have these characters been in movies?
No, but they are on TV.
No.
All right. Okay. You are.
Okay, hold on. Is this character a cartoon or real life?
That's a great question.
Live action.
Live action. All right. 89.
Live action.
BJ and the Bear. You are a white, long-haired trucker, and your wife is a chimpanzee.
That's 70s.
So that was
next year.
What about some characters on TV?
Give us one more hint.
Real life.
Give us one more, a decent hint. See if we can get it.
Their former boss pooped on someone's head.
Oh, okay. It's wrestling.
Their former boss pooped on
89.
Oh, so you're doing wrestling.
Sergeant Slaughter and Sting.
No. Give up?
Well, just tell
we
us.
definitely give up, because if we don't give up, how would we ever end the best radio segment we've ever done on this show? So, yes, we got to go ahead and end it.
My wife is dressing as The Undertaker, and I'm Kane.
I like that. All right, so you made your wife dress as The Undertaker, which is a pretty cool flex, I feel like.
What'd she wear? Like a big black duster? And
Pretty much. And she's got black leggings, but when we meet Mel Gibson, she has to change out of those because you can see it from behind.
Hey, this guy's got jokes. I love it.
What do
you can see your pee from behind.
All right, sir, we got another call.
Yeah.
Have fun at MegaCon.
Yeah, have a great time,
bye-bye.
man. All right, bye-bye. All right, hold on. Oh, God, we lost him. Oh, God.
Uh-oh.
Okay, yeah, we're good.
That's fine. Just keep calling
We're
in.
fine. We're fine.
Let's talk MegaCon.
Everything is fine.
I think today it starts, but the VIP is just later on in the afternoon. I saw that.
Yeah, I think Christine's out there. We have a friend out there, Christine. She asked if she wanted to call in the chat room yesterday, and I said, yeah, call in. We'd love to talk to you.
So you dress up, and you go out there, and you just walk around and
kind of show off your creations, I think.
Take pictures, talk to people, look at all the booths. Maybe see Mel Gibson.
Yeah, tell him.
You get a picture made with him.
Hey, thanks for calling. Who's this?
Hey, guys, it's DeBerry Joe.
Hey, DeBerry Joe. What's going on, buddy? I just put another caller on, too, so just hold the line. We're with DeBerry Joe right now. What's going on, man? What you doing?
I'm making Bubba Burgers right now.
You know what? Let's talk about Bubba Burgers. I'm glad you brought this up.
They suck. They're terrible.
You know what? I disagree. I like a good Bubba Burger because you can eat like 5 of them at a barbecue.
And you can tell.
Yeah, but they got that pink slime.
No, you got it. Okay, so how are you cooking it?
I like to bake them.
Bake them? You bake your hamburgers? What are you, an old lunch lady? No, dog. You get me baking your... Oh.
I do it in a cast iron, but it's easier to... it's just easier, like clean up and everything.
You're like an old cowboy. You get a cast iron out and you throw a bunch of burgers in and just put it in the oven.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty awesome. I like that. You turned me around on it.
You're usually when people food prep, it's with healthy food.
He's just putting a case of Bubba Burgers in a cast iron skillet and just putting it in a 500-degree oven until it's cooked and then eating all the meat.
I like food prepping, like chili dogs and other cheeseburgers.
I've been wanting to talk about food prep. I need to do a post on the BDM page about, like, I want you guys to start showing me your food prep, good and bad.
Oh, dude, we talked about that before. Remember the hobo packets?
Yeah, good and bad.
Put a big mash of everything in the. I'll do that soon, and I'll show you a picture.
Okay, my dad and mom. Thank you for calling. That's a great, excellent phone call. Did you ever do hobo packets? Did you ever do we called them poor man's dinners.
I've done them for camping trips before.
No, we did them. We were so poor, we did them in our house.
Okay.
We're camping. You would get a piece of aluminum foil, and my mom would make, like, hamburgers. But my mom, growing up, I don't know if anybody has had this, but, like, when my mom and dad made a hamburger, it was like a ball of meat. It wasn't like a flat patty.
Yeah, because the
McDonald's hamburger, the flat patty, like, my dad thought a flat pattied hamburger was like, well, that's obviously not a hamburger.
Because it's a meat pancake.
What if you are my dad reincarnated? Because that does sound like something he'd say, you know? And my dad also loved pancakes.
Yeah,
but he doesn't want meat pancakes.
Because our father's generation...
What a thick burger.
They would get ground beef and make their own hamburgers.
Yeah,
they weren't pre-made.
Pre-made hamburgers are for the weakest people on the planet,
that's for millennials like myself. Like, I get the pre-made. I want to cut.
That was not a thing for me. Like, the idea, like, I remember, like, it may have been even your house that I went over one time, and you bought the package with, like, the quarter pound, you know, the roundos in the package, and I'm like, whoa! It's like looking at a magic trick.
Yeah, next generation veggie burgers. Well, I was the last generation of regular meat.
I think we're back. I think it's coming back. Smash burgers are everywhere, right?
Yeah. But that's our generation. They're like that. They're like, they smash it down.
Yeah, smash it. Make it look flat like a pancake. Thanks for calling a Corporate Time Live Call Thursdays. Who's this?
Hi, it's Alex. First, in response to DeBerry Joe, Bubba Burgers are kind of bad. I like to get the Terry Bradshaw burgers out of the frozen aisle.
Do they have Terry Bradshaw brand frozen hamburgers?
You got to enjoy Bradshaw Farms. Eat Terry's beef.
I will eat Terry's beef. I will eat that. Doesn't he have dementia or something, right?
I don't know.
Depression. It's depression, I think.
Is it depression?
I think he takes the same stuff. I think he's on Lexapro like me or something.
Okay, yeah. But also...
I'm Baldwin Terry Bradshaw.
There's been some videos of him, like, forgetting where he was and, like, what he was talking about.
I did that this morning. Like, you told me to do something in here, and I just stare at my computer for a couple of minutes.
The good thing about Bubba Burgers is you could tell they're done when it looks like you spit some sort of loogie on top of it.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about.
The
pink slime comes up from the top.
It looks like saliva is on top, like a little puddle of spit.
Yeah, like it's a puddle of water and fat congealed.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes you get those when you're cooking. But did you have anything else about Bubba Burgers?
Not about Bubba Burgers, but hey, Tom, I got a ticket on Howell Branch the other day, and the BDM sticker didn't work, so pay my bill.
I think you should pay. How much was your ticket for?
$172.
Oh, for what? What'd you get it for?
Speeding. Doing like 63 in a 35 on Howell Branch.
God!
Oh, I thought you said eating at first, and I was like, eating? I've never heard of that.
I drive on Howell Branch all the time. How do you go 63 on Howell Branch? I guess north of Cimarron, right?
Yeah, it was down by 1792. You just got to, haul ass.
All right.
My car hauls ass now because it's driving for itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just hauls ass everywhere now, like really fast.
Well, it goes the speed limit because it knows
it goes faster than the speed limit.
It does? Well, I thought it was
very. Apparently, there's no rules for my car now. My car can do whatever it wants.
What is it, a program to the speed limit of the road through GPS?
No, sometimes I have to turn it off. I'm like, I was like, it's too crazy.
No. You are thinking it's crazy.
They
just
changed it. They just changed it. It used to have chill, standard, and then assertive. Now it has chill, standard, and hurry. And when you put it on hurry, it's like, and it's like changing lanes like manic.
Yeah, but how could it go faster than the speed limit? Wouldn't they be liable for that in some way?
Because you opt into it. Like, I'm the one that's offsetting it. Like, I tell it, like, how much of an offset do I want on the speed limit?
Oh, you tell it to
and
go
I
faster?
go to the max.
And it'll push itself past the speed limit? That's crazy.
It'll do like 12, 14, 15 miles over the speed limit. Yeah, absolutely.
Huh. You would think that they would program it in so that it wouldn't go past.
They did. It is in there. I just have it turned off.
Oh, okay.
Because I want to go fast.
Yeah.
But it is a little scary sometimes.
I forget that you can go in there and mess with the actual settings.
Yeah, I mean, it's my car. I mean, I guess I can. But I guess the weird thing about it is if they did want to shut it off at any point in time, I guess they could, which that's kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean, it was like some
and the
sort
CEO of my
lawsuit.
car company's not doing good things. I mean, he's kicking up some dust. Oh, well. Oh, well.
Anyway, so back to MegaCon.
Yeah, man.
It's the whole weekend, right? And
yeah, I think so, but like I don't.
It's at the convention center.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Have you ever been? I've only been one time, and
I've never even been.
I just walked the concourse one time, and it was too much for me. It's not for me. Those things are not. I don't do crowds that well as it is, and it's just not something that I typically would enjoy. But it does look. The thing that I like is that I wish that, and you can find these on YouTube and sometimes on Reddit. I like it when they have click-throughs where you can go and kind of see. I like looking at the things that people build, the costumes, and how creative they get. And I like when they use technology in them. Butler does that. Our friend Christine does that. It's cool. It is cool. It's artistic.
It's a smart business model in the fact that you rely heavily on the participants that actually pay to come to the event to add to the atmosphere, which draws more people.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It does.
Like all the people that dress up, make it the event, so you go there and then everybody's dressed, everybody has some sort of different theme, and then that's all part of the entertainment. So it's like the people that are paying this business to go to the event are providing entertainment for all the paying people too.
And I think it's even better than, like, I like the people that go and what they create better than the panels or the reveals or, like when they, get cast reunions back together. That's great. Don't get me wrong. But I like it better when there's a camping scenario, and you'll know what I mean by that. I like it when you see the guy who, like, normally he just works at Modern Plumbing. He's a great plumber. But on the weekends, he really likes to game with his son, and they created a Final Fantasy outfit, and his Final Fantasy outfit is so big they had to rent a U-Haul trailer to get it to the convention center, and then the dad puts it all on, and then they're walking around, and they're like, oh, yeah, we just spent every weekend for the last 2 years building this. Yeah. That, to me, is super cool.
It's the gun show for nerds.
But I think it's more impressive than that because the gun show people aren't creating the guns. A lot of these people are the real artists.
I'm just saying it's a whole convention of like-minded people, and they all go there to congregate with each other.
Yeah.
And they turned it into a bigger event than even the event itself.
Oh, yeah. It's a difficult event even to maintain, right?
Because if no one dressed up, then it wouldn't be MegaCon.
Correct.
It would just be, a convention with not that much. Like, what adds to everything going on are the participants.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because the panels and stuff they do, like, I'm sure some are good, some are bad, but I've never really heard the main motivation of most people going out to this thing as like they really can't wait to see this particular panel. They add to it, but it's like most of them just want to dress up and go and be involved.
Yeah, we got a lot of friends in the chat room that are going. We got our buddy Randy in there. He says his wife and son are going. He's got to work. A lot of people like head out. Like I think you're right. I don't think it's any of the stars. Those are great. And I do think they're a bit of a draw, but I think most people that are going there really want to go to show off what they have.
Do they have any like anime? I'm sure there's a ton of anime.
Oh, tons. Yeah.
So like my sons that are in the anime,
they lose their minds.
Yeah,
because some of the people that like are there are going to be dressed as some of their favorite anime characters.
Yeah.
All of that stuff.
From Dragon Slayer and whatever
One
else
Piece
they watch.
And all that. Like even like Maisie's
and
friend,
the booths they'll sell anime stuff
and original art and you should probably get I mean, you get a pass. Take the boys out there.
So I could either tell them about this and spend the hundreds and hundreds of dollars,
I like this.
or I just not mention it and they just go about their
I do
lives.
that a lot. Yeah.
Until they request it from me.
Yes.
I'm just
then
gonna.
it doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait this one out.
Yeah,
because one day they'll be like, "You take me to MegaCon."
Oh,
then I'll have to.
Christine's in the chat room. She said, I check into a hotel today, and I'm meeting Todd McFarlane. Wow, that's really cool. Todd McFarlane of Spawn.
Okay. The actor from Spawn?
The creator.
Oh, creator of Spawn?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she says there's a whole floor for anime. Yeah, I think that would be really, really cool. I'm kind of getting back into anime just because you mentioned it so much with your sons that I've gone back and started watching some of it. Let's see who we got here. Thank you for calling a Corporate Time live call Thursday. Who's this?
Hey, this is Rich, the UPS guy.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Not much. You guys wanted me to call in?
Yeah. Well, how's your day? You working, delivering that Chinese garbage?
Yeah. A bunch of it. It's super exciting.
Yeah, remember the Postal Service announced yesterday that they were going to stop receiving stuff from China, but then they stopped there. They're like, no, we're not false alarm. False alarm. We'd have to. Nothing would be coming into our country if we did that. We'd have nothing to do.
So, what's your day like as a UPS driver? You get up. How early you have to get up, and then when do you end your day?
I get up at 3 a.m. and I'm up in Titusville, and I go down to Rockledge, grab a truck, drive to the airport. And then I sit at the airport and wait for the planes to come in. And then I bring the airs back to our center. And then I start my route at 9 a.m. And then I work until 3 or 4. So about a 12-hour day.
Holy.
Too long.
Yeah, that's a hefty day, man.
Yeah.
I hope you get paid very handsomely for that.
Oh, yeah. Get paid a lot.
Good.
I'm on overtime right now.
All right.
And you're calling us on overtime. Yes. Get 'em.
Yeah. I'm on break, by the way.
I love it.
Let anybody know.
Yeah, of course you are. I can hear you. I can tell you were on break.
Do you bring your own lunch, or are you allowed to drive and eat your lunch in the McDonald's parking lot in your truck? Because I never see UPS drivers sitting in their truck eating.
Drive it right to Rachel's. Go inside and get a steak dinner.
You're going to laugh at this because I go to the Wawa in Cocoa, which is like the DMZ at 4 in the morning, and man, oh man, there's police everywhere. Every morning there's somebody crazy in there.
Oh yeah, Wawas. We didn't know this when we were getting Wawas, but Wawas make 7-Elevens look like 7-Elevens look like libraries now. Like when you go to a 7-Eleven,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
there's never been a normal time at a Wawa.
No. Wawa is the only place in Central Florida I know of that have the one of the biggest selections of beer. All the coolers are locked tight. I've never been into one. They keep them locked.
You know what? It's
you can't get in there. They have to keep it locked because the zombies will steal the beer.
7-Elevens realized a long time ago, if 7-Elevens can put those pigeon spikes on the brick area in front of the 7-Elevens where people the bums sit and stuff, they would.
Yeah.
But they screwed up with that. But Wawa, they came down from the north. They're like, you know what?
Seats would be nice.
We'll put some seats so people can congregate in front of our area.
You know what we need here? We need a table that a grown man can lay on while he's saying the alphabet and pooping his pants.
Yeah. I take my
and
family.
It's got the little holes in the seats to where the bums can just pee right in there. And
you can hose it
down to the ground.
Yeah, you can just hose it down. Just hose it down.
But not only the bums, we'll invite the police, the UPS drivers, the yard guys. Oh my God, the yard guys, they'll love it. And while they're getting their breakfast, and so
everybody's standing there holding a tiny little ticket, staring at those poor people that are in there making those sizzlies, and everyone's mad as hell. So mad.
I've never made eye contact with anybody in those stores.
Don't.
If you make eye contact, they're like, "Hey, what's up, young blood?"
Yeah.
And I'm older than this guy.
Don't say young blood either. They'll drag their balls right over your sizzly. Don't do it.
So,
and then I got to explain that I don't carry cash.
Yeah,
so.
And don't even get me started on Hoagie Fest. When it's Hoagie Fest, you can't even get in that place. Thank you for going to Wawa. Thank you for your service. I don't know how you do it. I'm 7-Eleven man.
Sir, I want to talk to you about an awkward situation that now has arose with the delivery drivers. And what
you get too much stuff delivered. That's your problem.
What it is the
what it is.
Sometimes I'm out front of my house, piddling around with
You're
something.
out there with your weight bench trying to show up for the neighbor kids.
I'm watering some plants, or I'm sitting on my front porch or whatever, and then the delivery man comes, Amazon, UPS, whatever it is, all delivery drivers.
Yeah.
They come with
this
the packages.
This is where he insults you for calling our show, sir.
No. And so I see, and then back in the day, it used to be, considered manners.
Well, getting a package was special. Now everybody gets like 5 to 100 packages a day.
Well, it used to be helpful if I got up out of the seat and then walked over to the truck, and then as he came out, I'd be like, oh, I'll grab it. So to save you
it's an insurance thing. Don't do that.
From walking to my front door, right? So I often, when I see the delivery driver, I'm like, oh, I'll take it from you so you don't have to walk all the way, because I'm in my driveway next to my truck. They save them 20 feet of walking. But they are like, no, I have to take a picture of the delivery in front of your door. That's how we do it now. Yeah. So I have to literally put it in front of your door and take a picture. Yeah. I can't give it to you and take a picture of you.
You just Photoshop it and throw it.
So then I have to just, and then I realized, like I did that a couple times, and I realized.
Wait a minute, they have taken pictures of me before.
What, they take a picture of giving it to you?
Yeah, Apple, if the Apple courier will bring you something from the Apple store, he has to take a picture too, but he'll just be like, no, hold it out, and I'll just hold it out, and he'll take a picture of my hands.
Okay,
he just took a picture of my hands.
All the delivery drivers it's
all different. There's no standardization.
I have to put it in the front door and then take a picture next, whatever.
I think that's Amazon.
So now I have to literally just sit there and watch them walk all the way to the front door, put it down, take a picture, and then I feel like they feel like I'm rude by not helping them at all. But
no, they don't feel rude. They don't even know you're there.
So what do you have to do? Can you just give it to me?
Yes. So we have we have to take pictures as well, and we can put like front door, garage, porch, patio, drop box, any of that. We also have a customer button. So if you come up and grab the package from me, I just hit Met Customer, and then you're on your way.
All right.
Oh, that's genius. See, you got to go with the big ones.
Yep.
But you got to go with the tried and trues. These guys have been doing it 150 years.
Do you just take their word for it that they live there, or do you just give it to whoever's standing in the front yard?
I'd give it to anybody and just hit the button and on my way.
If whoever's around, they'll say, I got a package for Bill Smith, and they're like, oh, he's not here right now. And I'm like, all right, here you go. And I'll just walk away.
Well, that seems like
that's what I would do, too.
There's going to be causing some problems. Don't you even?
But there's no paperwork. There's no paper trail of that.
Don't you look at the person, then look at the house, and then do your racist math? Think of like, do they live here?
You don't look like a Bill.
Yeah.
You look more like a Javier.
You just give it to whoever? I don't know. That system seems flawed.
If they're in the front yard or in the driveway, that's good enough for me. I've been doing this 30 years now. So
yeah, shut him down. I've been doing this 30 years now. This ain't my first rodeo, you punk.
In 30 years, what's the weirdest thing you've seen while delivering?
Oh, please say an old lady breastfeeding a tiger.
No, I did have one time, like 20 years ago in Cocoa Beach, had a woman come to the door topless.
Yeah, that was the correct answer.
I've seen these videos. If you search delivery driver.
Yeah, I've seen them too. You always got to put it through the pizza. Put it through the pizza box.
No, not that kind. No,
wrong videos.
They do regular delivery drivers now, and then the
regular delivery drivers.
And there's a thing where like swingers. I am thinking it's swingers or like exhibitionists. They'll send their wife out there to meet the Amazon delivery driver, and then they.
That's embarrassing.
Wait till you see what they do next.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
You know, your wife's out there getting some fish tank rocks, and you're in a closet.
Yeah. Then the husband. The husband.
She's out there getting like some stuff that you actually need. Like some hamster bedding.
I feel like there would be no way I could perform in this kind of stressful environment. Yeah. I'm like, oh, what is this? What's happening here?
Right there, then I'd hear that stupid reverse sound on those Amazon trucks that would ruin it for me.
I'm like, my truck's outside. I think
he saw me.
I know your husband's hiding in the closet. I've seen these videos.
And it's also like, I know your wife. I know they don't sell that UPS outfit ever. Like, that's not even a real uniform.
So what do you make, 12-hour days? Are you pulling in 90?
More than that.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Hell
okay.
Yeah. Hell yeah. You got a big TV?
Yeah.
Well, how big's your TV?
Yeah. So I've got a 75-inch TV, and I want to go to 85, but my wife won't let me.
I have an 85. I have an
telling her
85. You
about
won't
your
be
argument.
satisfied unless you go 100. I have an 85 as I stand.
I know. I know. Trust me.
You know, we all screwed up here, sir. Let me talk to you about it.
Talk
Okay?
about
because
it.
we all bought big 75s.
Yeah,
because
you have you have an 85.
No, I got a 75. You had the
Then
70.
then I have a 70.
Yeah,
oh my
yeah,
God,
that's
sir,
like-
I lied to you. I'm sorry.
And then we all bought these a couple years ago, and we're like, look how big my TV is. And now there's 85, 90s, 100s. They got the
I
Costco
told you I
100.
saw 103.
But the problem, now we're all stuck. Like, we're stuck in our mortgages at the good rates. We're all stuck on our 75s, and our wives
Just
won't.
skip one. Just don't you get some sort of? Don't they have some program for forgiveness or something? Like, I'm an idiot.
No, but
forgiveness.
they still work, and our wives won't let us get the hundreds that we want. And because she's like, you bought that 75 for $1,200 2 years ago, and it works fine.
I'm
And
gonna
we're
start
like, oh,
leaning.
God.
I'm gonna start leaning on my ailments. I'm gonna be like, I may not have much time left. I gotta get a big hundo.
Yeah, no,
You know what I mean?
Well, you're not. Andrew knows.
Pushing the TV off the stand and breaking it myself.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
God, you know what?
I tried to do that to a cell phone one time and it didn't work.
We need to figure out a way that we could. Because breaking them, I can't do it. I can't bring myself to breaking my TV.
So you hire like Jeff Galooly to do it for you. You gotta hire a thug. You need a thug. Where can we find some thugs to break into our house and smash our TVs, and then we'll have to buy a new TV? This is a great idea for our. This is a new business for BDMs. We have a group of guys that will just go. We'll give you the code.
They'll break into your house.
No. We'll give you the code. You just wait until you'll know you'll be in the bushes, and I'll turn off my alarm, and then the thug will come in.
Yeah.
He'll go up the stairs. He'll smash my TV. They'll come out. When he's out, he texts me.
Yeah.
It's done, and then I lock everything back up again.
And to make it look real, he'll like rifle through my wife's panty drawer. Just be like, this guy's a real pervert.
Some pervert broke in and broke my TV and skipped your panties. This is crazy. What are we going to do? Well, first we got to get a new TV because the Super Bowl's in a couple of days.
Yes, there it is.
Dude, I'm telling you, this is foolproof.
Yeah, and I know the people that will do this.
DeBarry Joe says he's really good at smashing.
Okay, well, DeBarry Joe will do it.
I trust him, and he's clean. He works clean. I've seen his yard work. This guy's a pro. He'll get in and out with no monkey business. That's what I'm worried about is the guy that'll get in there and spend a little too much time sniffing.
Yeah. And he's skinny like a crackhead. So people are like, oh, yeah, this guy
it
needs
looks right. Yeah, he had a Sailor Moon jockstrap on when he was leaving. Remember that? He wore it on a cruise.
Yeah. All right, sir. Thanks for calling today.
Yep. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
You too. Enjoy your lunch.
All right.
Bye.
Maybe we figured out a lot of problems today.
Sir, are you still on the line?
Talking to me, Dan?
I am. Yeah. Who is it? Is this Charles?
Charles.
We're talking to you. Who is it?
Oh, I'm Vince.
Oh, hey Vince. What's going on, man? What's on your mind?
I was just 1 o'clock, called in a little late, and then you guys got busy talking to the Chinese trash delivery guy.
Yeah.
So how big is your TV, sir, and will your wife not let you upgrade?
Oh, no, I don't have a wife.
All right. No, why now? It's crazy. So you never been married? How old are you?
No, I'm born in 84, but actually, your part, Tom, responsible for me having
being in jail, and I'm going to kill you.
Well, come get it. I like challenging anybody who wants to kill me. I'll kill you first.
No, I actually, 17 years ago, I called in when you were still drunky, and you helped me.
No, sir. Let me correct you. He'll always be drunky. It's like the Marine Corps. No, it's like the Marine Corps. Once you've served, unless you were,
What'd you have to say? Absurd amount of time before you just say a couple years ago.
Were you a child? Did you look up to a young Drunky the Bear?
He's about as old as I am.
I'm his age.
Yeah.
I'm his age. What are you talking about? I always have the Tom Ben moments, and then I'm like, oh, I'm not a lazy white guy, and I'm like, okay, I'm just logical. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
So what did I tell you?
I did what
17 years ago.
They did the monster Christmas thing, and I got on the line and told my little story about my daughter being kidnapped by her mother and whatnot, yada yada yada.
That's terrible.
And went to court, and dealt with all that stuff, and I used the leverage that I was on the monsters, and I was trying so hard searching for my daughter, all that stuff to, get custody of her and whatnot.
Tom just wrote hero on a piece of paper. I'm not going to let him.
Don't mention that to the judge. Like, I called this wacky morning show trying to get this guy drunk in the bear.
And a redneck in a bear suit. He gave me the leverage and the confidence.
No. I said I called the Jim Phillips show, even though I was on the Monsters. I said the Jim Phillips.
Smart.
Oh, okay.
Smart move.
Yeah.
This guy knows.
Yeah. I was, but so because of that, and I got my last tax return for having all the credits for a child and everything. I became a BDM finally, and
Thank you.
Give me all a little bit of money a month.
Well, we appreciate that.
I'm a big fan of you too, Dan. I used to call in when you were with Drew and stuff, and I was underage, and you guys would hang up on me.
Yeah.
You're too young to talk.
Yeah, we have to do that.
Did you get your daughter back?
No, I got her back like 6 months later, a couple of days before her first birthday. We did the whole split custody thing, but I had the edge because the judge I'm going to sound like Tom and just make a long, drawn-out story.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, everything worked out, and her mom basically never made contact with us, had 3 other kids, and didn't take care of any of them, became an ovary donor, and, I used my daughter as I got lots of girls and used my daughter for that. Yes, I've been married, been divorced, never actually had a wedding, just married some random chick that I was whipped to. No, you could say the P word, right? I don't know. But, just to be safe.
Man, we're flying right now. I feel like I'm...
You're freaking out, sir.
Yeah, I'm flying through a magic land right now.
Is your daughter 18 yet?
Yeah, she's going to be in May, and I can't wait for to tell her to kick the curb because we are battling right now. I go back to diapers and anything. Oh, man, dealing with the 17-year-old is just...
tough.
Yeah, she gets a job. She thinks she's queen of everything. Next thing you know, we barely talk, and I find out she's had a boyfriend for a month.
Oh my God. Yeah. For a month?
I mean, that's you, Dan. You're going to make
No, don't talk about it.
You're like,
No.
I wish Drunk in the Bear never helped me.
You made him laugh.
Thank you.
You don't understand. That's how much I have thought about that. I'm like, and if I would have never called, I would have never
Oh, man.
That's literally the thought that came to mind with all the stuff we've been going through. And I mean, she's not a bad kid, but 17 years old, you want to be I get it.
Yeah.
It's just, she lies a lot, and that is...
Got to shut down the lies. Yeah, the lie. Yeah, that's it. That's hard.
Yeah, and it's just she lies just because she doesn't want to get in trouble for getting her way. And, I mean, we all did that, but I'm very attentive to it, so I catch her in all the stuff.
Sure.
And she's, it's just, it's a pain. But, so...
Well, I'm sorry, and we appreciate you listening.
Let me ask you a parenting question,
sir. It sounds
sir.
like, actually, if you're getting to the finish line of 18, I think you're okay, man.
That's how I'm feeling, and I'm not a grandpa yet. She's not pregnant. I feel like that's a success. She graduated high school a few months early.
Well, you guys have a relationship, right? Like, you guys are not talking or anything. It's just sometimes you butt heads. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, we butt heads a lot, and, she just doesn't inform me of stuff, and I get it. I'm the dad. There's no mother in there, for her to tell all that stuff to. Now, she's got, my sisters and my mom
other
and
family,
whatnot, but it's not the same, and I'm a very hard-nosed parent that tried to, that's what I had to tell Tom. I tried to raise her with grit. I tried so hard. I mean, it was just like, you got to understand this and that. There's no Santa Claus. There's no this. I'm the one doing
God.
it. I tried all that stuff.
That's a hard go.
Once high
you got to
school
do that,
came,
Tom.
she got once high school came, she got the iPhone, the bubble, and it was just, she disappeared. It was gone. I mean, the next thing you know, I'm getting hugs from the side because she's growing boobs, and there's no more tuck me in the bed. Then, because I've spent my whole life nurturing this child, I'm like, let me go adopt a kitten. I have this nurturing.
You adopted a kitten? Man, I'll tell you what, Live Call Thursday is lit. Is lit.
Why the hell do you adopt a kitten? No,
What'd you name the kitten?
My cat's name's Yoshi. He's 3 now.
Aw,
and
bless his
he
heart.
responds to his name. He sits. He's like a dog. So yes, you can train
Might
cats
be a
to
dog.
Yes, you can say the cat's name and they will respond.
That's dope. I like that.
Sir, let me ask you about the Florida Wildman paradox. Here we go.
Okay.
We're
running out of time, so he might be our last guy, which I would say go out on a high note. This has been an awesome call.
This will be real quick, but I imagine that a lot of parents are struggling to handle their kids who are acting wild. But then
they call it wiling out.
Yeah, but then they think to themselves, "Well, I acted like this when I was
the
their
chat
age."
room is saying that pretty much. Everybody's saying, "I did this, I did this, I did this."
And then so it's a paradox because you're like, "I don't want this behavior. You're too wild. Don't do what I did." But then you're like, "Well, I did it," and then my parents told me not to do what they did, and they did it. So what the hell are we telling our kids?
No, but I think that's the paradox is that what he's doing is the only thing he can do, and he's doing it right.
But he's not doing anything.
But all
They're
you can
still
do,
wild.
but all you can do is love your daughter. That's it. All he's doing. He cares about her and loves her. And look, she's going to find her own path and do her own way, and also make some mistakes. But as long as he's there, if he weren't there, he'd be doing it wrong. But the fact that he's there, he's doing it right.
Yeah, you're completely right, Dan. I didn't leave the house 30 minutes ago and say, just remember, if you move out, you're not coming back. You'll have nowhere else to go.
No,
I didn't tell her that
that's
at all.
your daughter. No, you love her. Yeah.
But
I do, of course.
I know what you mean.
I do.
I know what you mean.
The problem with the Florida Wildman paradox is we all think to ourselves, man, I could have died hundreds of different times by making horribly stupid decisions.
Really bad decisions.
Like over and over. And I do not want my kids to die by mistake.
Yeah.
Because I look back at it, I was like,
things that can be
easily
avoided. Yeah.
I mean, like riding in the back of trucks.
Driving impaired is the number one, man.
Driving drunk.
Driving in the fog a couple days ago, I thought about that. My goodness.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm doing this now. I did it back then, but I wouldn't let my kid do that stuff. It's tough, but I don't know. I mean, I don't have an answer. You know, you do your best and you love them, like Dan said, and that's it. I mean, kids are born a certain way and they'll be what they are. It doesn't matter. Look at Tommy and Max. Completely.
Yeah. But it sounds like we're all doing nothing, though. We're not helping solve this problem.
What did our parents do? What did our parents do?
Well, they didn't do nothing.
Home by dark.
I don't think they even worried about it.
Nothing can be done.
I love it. There we go. We got to the answer. Well, we appreciate you calling, man, and we appreciate you being a BDM. We are running out of time. We got to get out of here, okay?
No, definitely. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Keep your head up, buddy. You're doing a good job.
Thanks for listening for so long.
He's doing a good job. I think he's in his feels today. He thinks he's not doing a good job. I want to be sensitive and say you are doing a good job.
Yeah.
It's just difficult, but you're doing a good job, especially if you're a single dad, single parents, single mom, single dad. That's hard I'm going to curse. That's hard.
Yeah. And everybody says, like, oh, you're doing a good job, Tom. But I think I could do better. I think I can do better.
Do you think you could, or do you know you could?
I know I can.
You know?
I know we all know we could.
Yeah.
We all can do better.
Oh,
but
the chat room wants
hard.
to see my hair. Hold on. You guys want to see my hair? It's not impressive. It's just sloppy looking.
Yeah. It's getting
cowboy
long.
hair. Now I have hair that a cowboy when he takes his hat off because one of his friends has been killed. He's at a funeral. This is what I look like.
Yeah. The cowboy, old homeless man.
I have the hair of the old man from Home Alone. Look, Look, I got the duct tape.
The shovel old man.
Yeah, the shovel old man.
Old man shovel. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna do the shovel old man.
You gotta look like him. Yeah. He's scary.
Yeah.
But he's really the hero.
Well, that's me.
But is he?
That's me, though. Scary, but really the hero.
We never really found out what he did. I mean, he could have,
I looked it up.
It been inappropriate.
Pedophile. He's a pedophile.
To old McAllister.
Yeah.
You
got any let's end with this. You got any pedophiles near you?
I don't know. I never look. I don't know what good it does me to know that there's a pedophile.
There's
down the
one
street.
right next door to me.
Yeah. My kids never even leave the house, so who cares?
I steal his cable. No, I'm kidding.
I never see kids out. Anyway.
All right, we got to get out of here.
All right, we'll see you on Monday.